It is a fast-acting viral strain that infects the host immediately, and upon getting sick, the infected will become racked with coughs, sweat profusely, and start to get the shivers and chills.
There he is, the legend. The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah.
You can't literally run a promotion just for the AEW, what do they call them, sickos?
Thank you very much, TikTok and AEW. See you tonight.
Tony Khan started telling people there's no such thing as long-term booking anymore. It's week to week.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
We just secured the bag.
It's not like I tried to be a character. It was just sort of happened naturally. But it was never something I intended. It was just something that happened because the wrestlers asked me to do things in matches, and I do them.
If you run a promotion just for the sickos, you're going to do 400,000 viewers eventually.
Effing melts. You know that SmackDown actually went over and everything?
Yeah.
You know,
What's the point?
the point of SmackDown.
What are you getting at here?
That the DVRs didn't pick it up.
Did they not pick it up?
You know, mine didn't.
Let's get into everybody's favorite moment, and it is called Dave Meltzer's Dumb Moment of the Week.
What would you like to listen to in your ears?
I'd like to hear the flute.
Well, if you'd like to flaunt your flute, then we can find you a flautist.
We have just secured the bag.
It doesn't help me.
Okay, so complain, but
I will complain.
Let me have my misery.
And when I heard that, I was like, what?
Thank you, fuck you, bye. Boom.
You gotta run a promotion for everybody. The sickos can be the ones that buy tickets first and spend the most money on the merchandise.
Because we have just secured the bag.
But like, you gotta promote for everybody. Then you'll have a lot of viewers.
I think we proved a lot of so-called experts. We made them look like idiots. We're not going anywhere. Tony Khan's not going anywhere.
You'll also be there on TNT. You'll be in 2 places at once. You'll be live on my favorite movie. Time God. So great, Pittsburgh.
It's not like I tried to be a character. It sort of happened naturally.
the best guys, Tony Khan.
To keep themselves safe.
Every booking is golden, you see. Perfect cards crafted for you and me. Yeah, the best guys, Tony Khan, is true. Triple cup, best damn booker in the land. 3 red cups stacked up, always in command. Triple cup, living legend of the fight. Just a call away from making it right. Never see him back hard, no way. Got the whole roster locked in for the day. A Crimson Tower, modern art. Triple cup. Triple cup. Every booking is golden, you see. Perfect cards crafted for you and me. Yeah, the best guys, Tony Khan, is true. Triple cup. Best damn booker in the land. 3 red cups stacked up, always in command. Triple cup. Living legend of the fight. Just a call away from making it right. Never see him back hard, no way. Got the whole roster locked in for the day. A Crimson Tower, modern art. Triple cup. Triple cup.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another eclectic edition of PWT Sicko Saturday Night. It is PWT Live Show, yeah. I am your host, the infallible Phil Marks, yeah. That's Phil S. Marks.
Fucking Mark!
And tonight, guys, it is a jam-packed show. We have our AEW Dynasty preview. TNA Rebellion 2026 is on right now. Cedric Alexander's about to throw down with Leon Slater. UFC 327 is on. Kevin Holland's about to throw down. It's been a really good card so far. What else, man? Collision's on tonight. I don't know if you guys are watching that. I'm not watching that. I got TNA on one screen, and then I got UFC up on this other screen. So that's what I'm doing tonight. I'll maybe throw Collision on like while I'm going to sleep later or something. I think it airs tonight, right? The one that they filmed on Wednesday. And after that lengthy overrun there with Omega and MJF, the TNA and AEW wars are heating up.
Wrestling's not fake!
So we got to get into that. Krule stabbing wasn't real. He didn't actually, that's not a real thing. They just beat the shit out of that poor guy like we speculated could have. I was like, maybe I'm an asshole here giving this dude the benefit of the doubt. Turns out, turns out he fucking, you know what I mean? He might have actually not had a knife, and Krule doesn't know how to throw a punch, and he's 6'10" and may have just buried his pro wrestling career. So that could have happened too. We're going to talk about that. What else? SmackDown. We're going to talk about SmackDown, Pat McAfee, and whatever all else is going on in the world of pro wrestling, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause for you all being here. To start the show, youtube.com/@ProWrestleClips. If you're on X, consider coming to YouTube, vote in the poll. Oh yeah, I got this thing too. Check this out. I'm gonna hit I don't really know how this works here. Start and show. So there you go. There's a poll. So you type 1, 2, 3, or 4. If you guys are watching, so on screen there's like a chat there, okay? And you guys can vote 1, 2, 3, or 4. What are you watching tonight? What are you watch tonight? My bad. I'm a dummy. I'm testing this. This is a new StreamYard feature, right? I try to test them all whenever they drop them. And you guys can type, I guess, what you vote in the chat. I put the poll in the YouTube chat. So I don't know how this works. I guess if you're on X, you guys can participate as well. We'll just keep. I don't know if this will be worth it at all, and we'll end it or hide it in a bit. And we'll check back in with that poll. But now they're like on screen, and it's aggregated through StreamYard through chat or something. So perhaps Lex Luger, how does this all work?
I don't know.
Okay, all right. So I don't think we're getting any answers on it tonight, guys. Hit like, hit subscribe, hit retweet, hit share, hit hype on the video after or whatever. You can super chat in, become a member for 99 cents. I do Member Monday shows. And it is the week of WrestleMania, and we kick things off, I guess, with this UFC and this Cedric Alexander versus Slater match here. Lincoln Hawk's been a member for 21 months and says Rebellion night in the PWT universe. Cedric Alexander and Leon Slater is going to be a banger. Way to start a great card. Yeah, and I like on the pre-show, like they had Sonya Deville. What's her name? Daria Ray or whatever the fuck it is. They had her explaining. She's like, yeah, I put together all these matches, and she was like on the pre-show as well, and she's like, and I'm so pumped about all these, and I'm patting myself on the back because these two are gonna kick it off for the X Division title. So that's awesome, and go TNA. And I didn't even realize Rebellion was tonight until like very last second, and there's just so much wrestling going on right now. Are you guys voting in the chat or what? Put 1s, 2s, or 3s. If that's lame, I'll fucking take it off. Right? I will take it off. Here, I'll just hide it for now. I guess I can show this poll. You guys can vote. So anyways, here we go. People are testing it. Yeah, so in real time, like Dunn did hit 2, I think. And it just went up to 100%. Check that out. Like, boom. So I guess 1, are you guys watching TNA Rebellion? 2, are you watching AEW Collision? 3, are you watching both? Or 4, neither? And I think if you're on X, if you go to like the chat under the video, I think it still works as well. I believe. That's how you send an X live chat. So you guys go ahead, test that out for your boy Phil, and we will determine whether or not we want to keep using this or whatever. You forgot Saturday Night Lucha. Yeah, but what time is that on, though? Doesn't that come on late as fuck? PWT for life. Yeah, like I will. You're right. I did forget to mention it. And thank you for the 2 wrestling, Chico. But what time does that shit start at? Because it's, AAA is on as well. And I will throw that on provided Rebellion and UFC are over. You know what I mean? And I love the AAA shows. But the TNA pay-per-view, I think, takes precedent over that, at least in my mind. AAA's in an hour. Yeah, so, I don't know. I'm going to have to, I don't know what I could even use. We'll just, it's on YouTube. We'll just watch it. I'll just put it on screen. No, I'm joking. But, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I definitely will throw that on over Collision as well. So, yeah. I'm excited. And Randy Brown is about to fight Kevin Hollins. This is going to be a banger. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to start things off with these 4 events. 4 incredible, spectacular events across MMA and pro wrestling tonight. We are going to start things off with TNA news. Boom. Boom. So recently, and we covered this on PWT Live Show, TNA stars are being pulled out of matches. So they're not explicitly being pulled off shows. They're still wrestling on these shows, but they cannot wrestle AEW talent or superstars or the AEW roster. And everybody's been reacting to this. Obviously, it's the talk of the town right now in pro wrestling. And a bunch of the AEW wrestlers have decided to do like a pile-on, basically, on TNA, which is pretty funny. And so Nick Nemeth got removed from his match with MJF. And what was the other match? Slater is no longer allowed to face Ricochet. Now, as many have pointed out and corrected people online and whatnot, and it's tough because when you have MJF, all the dirt sheets are just quote tweeting and reporting on, and this is why people hate dirt sheets. Like, they are just quoting everything that MJF and Kenny Omega are saying, and MJF's just in full heel mode. Like, I actually like what MJF's doing. I got to be honest. He's like, fuck that other territory. Like, I'm all good with him doing that, especially as their champion, and it fits his character and everything. But when he says shit like, oh, you're hurting their money and shit, then people just repeat that. So I guess these like Nick Nemeth's still getting paid to work this show, but it's just a different opponent. And I don't care what anybody says. This is fucking over the indie promoter, right? But at the same time, like, the main criticism is like, why did TNA okay these matches if ultimately they were going to pull them? So that means they didn't know that they were going to make that decision to start doing that when they okayed them. That's all I can think. Or someone okayed them and then someone above them was like, nah, that ain't happening. That don't work for me, pal. Right? So in my opinion, it may have something to do with WWE. It may just have to do with like, okay, Ricochet can't pin our X Division champion. And it may be like, this guy was on SmackDown, so we cannot just have him losing to fucking, maybe it did come from WWE. Doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. What matters is the matches got cleared and then they had to pull them and then do a switcheroo. So nobody's losing out money. That's the MJF Kenny Omega full redact narrative that's being pushed, and Kenny Omega saying some redacted shit as well. We're going to get into that, but we know about those 2 matches, the Nemeth one and the Slater one. But sources claimed MJF was actually planned to face Bear Bronson, who is his bruv. That's his guy from back in the day. At GCW in March, however, TNA blocked it. So they were blocking it as far back as March. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what is that about? So this shit was happening before we are all hearing about it all of a sudden. WrestleMania week, it's just more time to blame the Fed about shit, or why did nobody have the scoop on this? So obviously MJF told them, yeah, I got pulled too, or Bear Bronson possibly, who knows? I'm sure people in TNA are talking, guys, like obviously. You know, you have Carlos Silva himself just flat out talking to dirt sheets and shit, but not in a chill way, like just flat out responding to the matter at hand. Like, hey, are you pulling, guys? And he was just like, yeah, it's, it was, we're pulling, guys. We're switching matches around. So we move along here, and Nick Nemeth had something to say, and he's well, let's talk about MJF, actually. He goes, it's called being preempted due to March Madness. This guy is actively a dumb motherfucker. Congrats. You pay your talent shit, then force them off shows where they can make money. Hashtag LOL TNA. And we're about to see EC3 come back to TNA Rebellion tonight, and I don't know, man. It's hilarious that we're getting MJF and EC3. Like, let's face it, MJF is just EC3, but he just says naughty words. Haha, little dick fat boy shit. Fuck. Ooh, right? Like, that's MJF. He's EC3, but just, is allowed to swear or whatever. So it's going to be funny seeing these guys take jabs back and forth at each other. I don't know. It's funny, dude. We live in like South Park wrestling land in the current landscape of pro wrestling, and TNA, if they keep rolling with the punches and they don't like try and cope over this in any way, and they just take it on the chin and they just deal with the criticisms by putting on really good shows, then it'll be all good. It's not a big deal, right? Like Silva addressed it. He went, yeah, this is what it is. Boom. And then you have all the AEW wrestlers spurging out, trying to like make this into something. And why I love this is because not only are the wrestling wars back on, but it's like, we're going to see them go head to head more on Thursdays, right? Which we've been anticipating this year. Again, this week coming up, a little WrestleMania, just some fucking... a little hidden chocolate, some hidden chocolate chips in that fucking ice cream in that delicious Sunday of fucking WrestleMania week is another head-to-head between AEW and TNA, at least I think an hour overlap on Thursday there. And yeah, Cedric and Leon are just throwing down right now, man. So make sure you're watching Rebellion, but it's going to be funny to see EC3 and MJF go back and forth, and the wrestling wars are on. And oh yeah, the reason I like this. So I'm just getting distracted by all the fightings and all the suplexes and dives here, guys. Okay, I'm overstimulated. The reason that I like this is because now it's AEW versus TNA clearly, which is what everybody's been trying to say for a long time, and what I've been trying to say for a long time, and I can't spit it out because of this fucking awesome match.
Let's talk about it.
So, a lot of people have been saying for a long time, it's TNA versus AEW, and that needs to be more established, and that's a more interesting war. More people are interested in seeing, like, NXT, TNA, and AEW go at it than they are seeing, like, AEW cope about, like, WWE, some shit that they're just ain't touching, period. They're just not touching it. Nobody is, unfortunately. Not yet anyways, right? Tony Khan's got a long way to go if he's ever going to come close. And he even just tried to buy WWE. So it just shows you, like, it just shows you what his true aspiration, like, he just wants to one day work for WWE. This has been established. He told Coach and Bro, I'm okay with, look, I mean, we could go after casuals, but I'm okay with the crowd we got. And, we're doing similar numbers to the beginning. And then, I mean, their ratings, we're going to cover it later. It was like back to 650 or whatever again. So who knows? It'll fluctuate. They do some good numbers. They do some bad numbers. AEW is just kind of going to AEW, and it's better to compare them to TNA, and this will only elevate TNA. Okay. And now everything's sort of lining up, and WWE fans are just like, debating whether the McAfee shit is good and whether SmackDown is good versus said just caught a body with that brainbuster on the buckle, guys. I don't know. You're watching Rebellion, but so it's now a debate of like, is SmackDown better than Raw? Is McAfee ruining this one show? Punk and Roman's better than fucking Rhodes, and the best build is Brock and Oba. Fuck this title picture. Like, it's a WWE debate. It's no longer AEW versus WWE. So let the AEW wrestlers spurg out about TNA now. That's awesome. That's good. It's good for TNA. That's the point I'm trying to make. So again, Carlos Silva was unhappy. This is a report about AEW Collision airing at the same time as Thursday Night Impact. If that's true, and I said this before and I'll say it again quickly, Carlos Silva, if this is true, he had to have known this was going to happen because they were going on Thursday beforehand, before you guys got your AMC deal. And I know you guys were on Thursday, like that's your night, and you guys were owning that night, and their goal was always owning that fucking night. And look at how Carlos is allegedly unhappy about Thursday. So if he went head-to-head on Wednesdays, how unhappy would he be? He was trying to avoid that altogether, right? And I think he assumed because Collision never went on a Thursday for how long? Since the AMC deal came through, or the AMC debut, rather, they have not gone on a Thursday head-to-head. And I think, and I've said on this show, like, I think that's telling about where Tone's at and whatever. And then the minute they do, if Carlos was really upset about that, he should have saw that coming. It was bound to happen one of these days. So, but it's a W that he just like owned we got to switch some matches around or whatever, right? Like, at least he owned it. So Nick Nemeth gave his thoughts on this on Busted Open, and then we have a clip of MJF from Busted Open. But Nick Nemeth says, I was really looking forward to this. I was really, really excited. As of yesterday, as I was flying in, I found out because of certain partnerships and brands, TNA president Carlos Silva had to make a difficult decision and protect a couple of brands down the line and things that are actually contractually obligated to happen. Can't just kind of do whatever we want, even though I think some things were approved at a different time when it became the situation that it is now, with a couple of different things happening at once. I feel like I'm crushed. I'm bummed out. I'm going to try and make this match happen one day and hopefully soon, but at the moment it is currently not happening. And it could have been an instance too where they're like, okay, Slater's going to beat Finger Shea on this indie because like he just beat Alexander. He's on his run right now. This is his rise to the top. And with Nemeth, though, maybe it was like, okay, but MJF's going to beat Nemeth and we can't have that. And then so we got to make it like an overall thing. Like we can't. One person ruined it for everyone else. It could have been that type of situation as well. We don't know, but ultimately just look for more of this going forward. And it's unfortunate for this indie more than anything else. Like Nick Nemeth will be fine. He's made shitloads of money in the wrestling business, and MJF will be fine. And TNA and AEW will both be, if anything, it just heats up their war. Right. And I love that so goddamn much. I'm here for it. Yo. So here is MJF cutting a promo. And if you read, so here's the thing too. He says this, and then these dumb fucks like Self-Made and Wrestle Purists and shit, which I think are like the same thing. They quote it and then they go, a statement from MJF, as if it's like a fucking shoot, as if it's like really what he's saying. And it's not just a gimmicky. Fucking Mark! It's cooked. So here is MJF's response on Busted Open.
MJF, how are you, sir? And thank you so much for hopping on this morning.
This is a bit of a longer clip, but we're gonna watch this here.
Shut the fuck up, Dave. I'm in a rotten mood. Okay. Matter of fact, I'm in one of the worst.
Dude, that rules. I don't care what anybody says. MJF is fucking hilarious, and I get it. Some people think the act's gone stale. I really think Tone's gonna pay him so much money we'll never see this kid. As long as AEW's around, he will never be in WWE. But I think in WWE, he could reinvent himself and take it to another level. And really, I think he's smart enough to do it. And I think he just leans in because he's able to do this. He's able to get away with this now. And I just love that this energy, instead of coping over the Fed, is directed at TNA. I love that. It's so much better.
Worst moods I've ever been in my entire life. And I feel horrible because I've got a living legend here in Natalia, who's going to have to listen to me rant and rave. Natty, I apologize to start off to you. You're a wonderful woman. The only Canadian I've ever, gotten to, I've not met you in person, but the only Canadian that I've gotten to know, outside looking in, that I don't think's a complete idiot and a talentless loser. Now, I'm about to talk about Dynasty, but before I do that, I want to just say one more thing to you, Natty. What you and TJ are doing right
Shout out Busted Open and Serious
now for wrestling in general is incredible. And I think it's awesome how much you guys are helping young talent. And now I would actually like to speak on young talent a little bit. Let's talk about TNA and the fact that they are pulling young talent off of shows when they're barely paying them any money whatsoever and telling them, hey, you can't wrestle because there's a...
And now MJF got checked on that shit because all of the quotes ran with this. Like, they just ran with it, and he's clearly doing a worked promo. And they ran with it like fact. No one's getting pulled off shows. They're just getting put on different matches, which is still lame as fuck, ultimately. But for the fans, as a fan, I'm like, well, that sucks. But him saying they don't get paid shit, well, some wrestlers had some shit to say about that. So we'll see all of that play out in a moment.
Guy from another promotion that's wrestling on this show. Does that help young talent grow? Does that help young talent become better inside the squared circle? Moreover, does that help young talent put food on their plate and on their table so they can eat? What Carlos Silva is doing is disgusting, and if anybody supports him or that company at this point, it is very hard for me to wrap my head around. Now, let's also talk about the fact that Nick Nemeth is completely terrified of me, and all of this, in my opinion, is just some blatant, weird conspiracy and excuse, because he knows if he gets inside that squared circle with me, he's done for. Now let's talk about the biggest show in April that's happening this month. Let's talk about Dynasty in Vancouver, Canada. Let's talk about Kenny Omega. Let's talk about the God Kenny Omega versus the Devil MJF. Last night, LaGreca, let me ask you a question. Kenny Omega stood in that ring, that bumbling idiot, and he talked for what felt.
So he cuts a promo. I mean, this more goes into AEW.
Yeah. Am I a slouch in
news and whatnot? He puts over the Kenny match. So there you go. That was MJF's take on it. Now, AJ Francis responded to this, and he goes, if you think I'm not making enough money to live off of, but here's the thing. He was working. That's the goddamn problem. To not live off of what I'm being paid at TNA, then you're showing you have absolutely no fucking idea what you're talking about. But that's also par for the course in this goofy-ass business. Y'all just be yapping. Yep, it's what we all be doing, man, just yapping. Here's the thing. MJF, he just probably read the tweet. He probably didn't listen to him in his fake voice. So Tony Khan had this to say, and he says he had approved both the MJF, Nick Nemeth, and Ricochet Leon Slater matches. So now he's like, yeah, I approved stuff. Yeah, I approved them, so I don't know why. So see, Tone is, and he is taking the higher ground. He was asked, and he's just like, yeah, I approved them both. But it's sort of like a snide. We all pick up what he's putting down, right?
Best guys, Tony Khan.
He's like, no, I approved them. Carlos didn't. I don't know what's up with that guy. What a lousy booker with his weird glasses and his smile, right? Tone's like, oh my God, I love it. I love it so much. This is so much better. Surprised to see those matches get canceled by TNA as a result of the other company not wanting them involved despite being previously agreed upon. So again, he's just trying to throw them under the bus. And Tone got real reactive to TNA, and we've been chronicling it here at PWT. So Machiavelli DTA says, LOL AEW. AEW wrestlers pulled from upcoming indie shows. So this was Andy H. Murray. And this is in 2022. And again, we talked about this before, but here's just proof of it. A written up fucking article from around the time. But in 2022, a few years ago, now, again, Tone was doing the same shit. He was pulling people off of indies. A bunch of indie promoters were getting pissed at how much some of his talent were charging, like the unused guys. What else? The Sky Blue, as well as former Impact Wrestling star Jake Something, currently a free agent, would no longer be appearing at their fancy wrestling event. right? Because it was the following day, Cult Promotion Pro Wrestling Guerrilla confirmed that AEW's Wheeler Yuta, Top Flight, and JD Drake were no longer able to compete. So this happened before. They pulled Ricky Saints off the GCW show and replaced him with Jericho, and then took Cardona from GCW like a week before or a few days before their big show in the same building. But GCW still outdrew Dynamite or whatever. You guys remember that? And so they've done this time and time again. But again, the sickos don't care, which is fine. Like, whatever. Fuck them. They're mental anyways. And then you have, and that's all that supports Tone. So it's not real support. So you don't see that. You know, you don't see that really reflected in anything. And then when it comes down to it, AEW's done the same thing. So it's funny to see TNA getting all this flack, but people are just waiting for the opportunity to jump at TNA. And I'm just not surprised. And I'm so glad that this is the conversation. Hopefully NXT can get in the mix a little bit too. I don't know how. I guess like Ariana Grace has the title. Like we'll see some NXT presence tonight at Rebellion, but I digress. Pat Buck blasted TNA's Carlos Silva for canceling MJF versus Nick Nemeth. So Pat Buck, who's just been getting paid real good, right? He's here and he's just saying shit as well. Kenny Omega said some shit. They're just piling on right now. And so he says, I don't usually speak on things like this, but this one's too ridiculous to ignore. TNA, specifically Carlos Silva. Meanwhile, none of these guys said shit, and I don't expect them to because they're getting paid by Tone. None of them said shit. When Jericho replaced Saints and GCW, that is the most carny, crooked, ridiculous shit I've ever seen in my fucking life, buddy. Ever. And so they know what they're doing. This is trying to drum up IWC drama the same way Pat McAfee's doing, or the same thing Pat McAfee's doing. It's all the same shit. Same poop, different group. Carney's going to Carney. So, main event of a Creative Pro show 3 weeks out. It was already approved, promoted. Not sure who that helps. We train wrestlers for wrestling companies, and now a wrestling company has stepped in and hurt another wrestling company that helps wrestlers get to wrestling companies. Makes perfect sense. Maybe I'm the one missing something. Well, yeah, just what you're missing is Tone did the same shit and you guys didn't care, even though everyone was like, this is stupid to do. It's tone deaf to do this. None of you guys melted down. How dare our boss? But again, you want to get paid by your boss. So the TNA wrestlers aren't going to say shit. But what they're doing now, what AEW's doing now is they're being a bully, right? So they got smacked around by WWE. Now they're trying to pick on the littler guy. But it's because Tone is sweating their TV deal, and he knows, like, he'll be lucky if he gets a $50 million deal for his next one, And so, well, yeah. Well, he'd get more than that. I think he'd get 50 or more. Like, if his last one was 185, would you be shocked if someone, for the ratings they're doing right now, 700,000, someone gives them 80 million or something? I wouldn't be shocked, It's just going to be more difficult because of how Tone has taking shots at certain people, but they're kind of picking on the little guy, and it's just like Ricochet, right? He's just a heel, and he's okay slapping everyone around, but then as soon as it blows up in his face, oh, I'm a victim, my wife's a victim, as soon as Jim Cornette calls him out, oh, Jim, I respect you, bro. Like, he just wants to bully people. That's all it is. It's cringy. And so with AEW, they're kind of doing that, but ultimately it just has more people talking about TNA. And if played correctly, this could backfire on them. Who knows? But yeah, WWE slapped them around. So they're just kind of looking at TNA now as like, what's up? We can easily step on you guys and fuck you up. If you're in an executive position, you should probably understand the room you're operating in and the etiquette that comes with it. Maybe Tony Khan can give a quick crash course on how to protect your brand while still helping the overall scene. So Tone's done neither of those things, right? What wrestling scene has he helped? Like, truly. He linked up with New Japan and they were cooked. Tone linked up with CMLL, but they are already doing good. They'd be doing good without AEW. They're fine just partnering with MLW. They don't need AEW. That's why that partnership actually has worked well, right? So Stardom, did he leave Stardom better? Did he even help Stardom at all? What about NWA when he worked with them? What about Impact when he used their TV? Read the room, right, Pat Buck? Fucking ginger. Just kidding. But like for real, well, not really. It's like, come on, dude. Fucking Jimmy Olsen over here, Sami Zayn's younger brother. What are we? No, I'm joking. What was Lil Yachty saying? Gingerbread man. Listen, dude. Like, read the room. Tony Khan went on Impact before and took shots at WWE using TNA's television. Talk about not reading the room and shit. So, again, I don't expect him. That's why this show exists, because I'm going to criticize Tone where these guys who are getting paid not to. But with this, like, mental thickness, this, like, spin that Pat Buck's doing, maybe Tone can give a crash course. Tone shouldn't be telling anyone about anything other than here's how you use money to keep something on the air for 6-7 years. That's all he should be in charge of telling anyone about. Here's how you use money to keep shit on television. Otherwise, like, here's how you fucking do other shit that people did in other wrestling companies in my wrestling company and call it AEW. That's all he should fucking be able to say. Here's how you buy wrestlers. Otherwise, he shouldn't be giving crash courses in anything to do with any pro wrestling, anything. And everyone understands that, right? So he goes, at the end of the day, so they're trying to turn it into attack Carlos Silva the way Tone got attacked. See, I see through all this bullshit. I can psychoanalyze and pick this shit apart. They want to turn it into okay, let's go after Carlos Silva and let's make this us versus TNA now, because when AEW's picking at someone, that's where they feel they're doing better. But it didn't help them the first time, and it might backfire this time as well. We'll see how it plays out and what AEW can do. And Tone knows that like AEW doesn't have the money to compete with them, like taking talent-wise and shit. So TNA is going to have to do it in the creative department and try and do it in the ratings when Collision goes head-to-head with them or overlaps an hour. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, he just says, even our own company, this isn't the way to do it. So Tony Khan actually addressed them canceling matches as well.
I'd love to hear your thoughts on partnerships, because news broke out this morning that some matches that were supposed to take place outside of AEW with TNA stars, I think Nick Nemeth and MJF was one. I think Leon Slater and Ricochet was another one. You've had partnerships with TNA in the past. I'd just love to know your thoughts on, what MJF has been doing with, wrestling people from other companies and, TNA sort of saying we don't want that anymore. Like, we'd just love to hear what you think about that.
I was surprised because with MJF and Ricochet, they both talked to me about the matches and I said it was okay. And they both told me everybody had gotten it approved. So I guess somebody on the other side must have changed their mind, which is fine. They're entitled to do that. It doesn't really change what we're doing in AEW, but I know Max and Ricochet.
And shout out the Masked Man show.
They were both really looking forward to their respective matches. So I guess something might have changed. It sounds like it did.
It sounds like it did. Yeah. So he's like, I don't even know. I don't even know. They work for me, but like they can just do what they want. So again, Tone is playing this off really coy. He's trying to make this like him. I'm a better booker and I want to work and help everyone, and TNA doesn't, and they're being greedy with their talent and all this shit because he's just bitter about the TV deal. And if he can make the narrative AEW versus TNA, that's going to benefit him when he tries to go get another TV deal, right? Because if TNA didn't just land $50 million deal or whatever, he'd be lucky to get a $50 million deal. So now Tone can be like, oh, give me $100 million and I'll give you ROH too. Like, he's going to get desperate, and desperate times call for desperate measures. And yeah, I'm just glad that the narrative is now TNA versus AEW. It's what it should be. And hopefully it helps elevate TNA. I keep saying this over and over, but it's got to be reiterated here because the AEW wrestlers keep reiterating the same bullshit. And Kenny Omega's another one of them. He goes and talks to John Alba, and Kenny Omega says, if you're in a bubble for too long, so they all got the memo, a bubble, read the room, what the fuck, pull from shows, hurting money, hurting young talent. So they're trying to take the narratives that were levied against AEW between WWE and AEW, and now they're trying to levy them against TNA. And it's cute. And in this case, we're talking about professional. And what's so funny, too, is I made a tweet and I said, dude, TNA's worked with, and I just listed like 100 companies that they've worked with over the fucking years. AAA, CMLL, AEW, NXT, W1, fucking Noah, Nuge, fucking name any Fed they've worked with. OVW. They've had crossovers. They've had fucking talent swaps. They've you know what I mean? TNA's worked with everybody. So to be like they're in this bubble and they don't it's just cooked, man. It's super Cookie Monster, but they all just know what it's just an initiative. There was like a meeting about this, or there was a group text where it's like everyone just go off on TNA, try and get them to respond. And I'm curious, like, how could they respond? Let me know in chat. Let me know in the comments below. Like, should they respond? What should they do? It's kind of cringe, though, that AEW can't do anything but talk about other wrestling companies. However, I would say for their fan base, like them trashing TNA is more fun. Like, I think people are actually interested in that and TNA going back and forth than them coping over WWE, you know? But yeah, Omega goes, I think you start to run into problems like this where someone will think that they're better than somebody else and that there's no reason to work together and they don't see the upside. They can only look at the negatives and the downsides. And maybe this is like these guys are ego tripping now too, because like the way they view it, like, oh, TNA guys can't lose to our guys. We're all elite. And it's like, nah, dude, they don't want that to happen. And I still think that we're in a place where professional wrestling can still be more than what it is. And I do think that if there were situations where we could all play nice with each other, then I really do think that business as a whole would move in towards more of a positive direction. We'd see more of a positive trend. I do think that at the end of the day, then why, like, here's the thing too. Then why was your boss and all the wrestlers in AEW just taking shots at WWE and shit if you guys thought that was the case? Like, you're all fucking just lying, dude. It's so funny. Liar! This is why I think it could backfire, okay? Because people sort of like authenticity and a level of genuineness in people. And when the AEW guys are all saying this shit, like, it's phony, bro. You know? Like, we know you guys don't really believe this. Whereas if Silva is like, yes, I changed some matches. And even if he's like, yes, in WWE, you know, Leon Slater was on SmackDown. Even if he was just like, they don't want him to lose to Ricochet or something, like, just the honesty of it, I think will win more people over, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe AEW will, and their bots who support them already will turn the tides for AEW. Who knows? But he goes, I do think that at the end of the day, if everyone were to just really sit down and figure out a way to make it happen, it's more than doable. We've seen it in other sports, other forms of media. And again, it's like, it's so funny because all AEW superstars and AEW management, like Tony Khan and Pat Buck and shit, are confirming to your boy Phil Marks and everyone else in the IWC is that it's really always been AEW versus TNA. Like, we were right. They are the number 2, or else you wouldn't even care. You'd be like, whatever, that's an MLW guy canceled again. Like, if Karrion Kross got pulled from MLW, what's that guy's name? Court Bauer, who runs MLW. Like, let's say he's like, no, Kross, you can't go lose to MJF or whatever on this whatever show. Would they be like coping over MLW and melting down about it? I highly doubt it. I highly doubt this would even really be a topic of discussion. People would just be like, whatever, he's got another date or MLW, whatever. You know, it's not a big deal, but it's just the fact it's TNA, and Tone's been really reactionary. This is why he's like, oh shit, I got to do something with ROH. And he's like got a studio going now. He finally is listening to everyone and just doing a weekly studio show or whatever. I mean, he was doing it before, but you know, he's sort of like rebranded it, not even rebranded, but repackaged it, if you will, whatever, new vibes to ROH, but it's the same old shit. same old garbage show he was booking before. But that lit a fire under his ass because he's like, oh fuck, TNA is like actually got motion right now, and like we should lean into the TNA versus AEW narrative. Hopefully he's starting to listen. Hopefully Tone's starting to listen and not to the wrong people. He wasn't hearing Coach and Bro trying to tell him to get all cutthroat with WWE, but Tone is getting cutthroat with TNA, but he's got his foot soldiers doing it for him, and he's just laying back going, I don't know, I'm just booking wrestling, which is what he always should have done from day one, and people would still be on his side. Way more people would give AEW the benefit of the doubt if Tone never got into the sicko, well, these bald assholes, well, Jim Crockett, I have way more fucking money. If he never went that route and he never like chose even if he chose the Bucks over Punk, let's say, but he just never went the route of like, well, John Cena didn't draw $1 million. People would still be on his side more. Like, it's understandable, I think, if it's like, okay, he picked his friends. I mean, are you really going to blame in that one situation if it wasn't for all the other shit that Tone showed he was on the wrong side of shit with, at least in my opinion, and I think objectively, as far as like the trajectory of the business up until now, they can say it's all turned around, but they just did a 650 again or whatever. And so TNA news continues here in the wars. And speaking of the wars, Lance Storm, who had just a terrible take about like, as soon as they started talking about Vince McMahon, I'm done watching WWE there, buddy. And then fucking Alfred Kunawa points out, well, Jericho brought up McGregor, and he was like really got in real trouble for some shit. It ain't like ongoing, he fucking lost a case and shit. And he ain't turning off, Jericho's his old tag partner. Is he turning that show off? Probably not. You know what I mean? And so here is a take from Lance Storm. And this is more of a base take, I would say, from Lance Storm.
What a day for you to join us, Lance. Your boss has got heat.
That's what I hear, although I have...
And he works for TNA, so he's going to take it a little more personally. And here's the thing, though. Everybody's like, TNA's in a bubble. Okay, you got a guy who works for them, who's on the AEW Shill Network, fucking being critical of, or defending TNA and shit. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Lance Storm is sort of outside the box here, doing his own thing, working for TNA, shitting on WWE, defending TNA on the AEW Shill Network. I mean, like, he's kind of branched out. Here we go.
Less knowledge than you do about it, but...
Well, you're going to find out here pretty soon. Well,
TNA's less in a bubble is the point I'm making than these AEW people are trying to make it out to be. And Lance isn't. I know people dislike. Some people are like, Lance always has bad opinions. I don't know. I still respect the guy, Absolutely. That won't change. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to call a bad takeout when I see one.
Story is that a bunch of AEW versus TNA matches were scheduled to take place over WrestleMania weekend and elsewhere.
A bunch of two. So, Bri, you are always lying.
And they are no longer taking place. No one's talking, but I think obviously the WWE probably laid the hammer down. And there is a story out there. There is a story out there that allegedly Carlos Silva got very angry when AEW ran a collision on Thursday, basically head-to-head with TNA, and decided that's
Carlos
it.
Silva doesn't look like a guy who gets very angry. Now, people say Tone is like, what the fuck? I don't know, fucking... Like, he'll freak out and start yelling, that's, I don't know. People have heard rumors, that's allegedly, right? That's allegedly how Tone
Allegedly.
And even MJF, when he was like, that pilot tried to abduct me, and he's like, Tone was like, what the fuck? I never wanted you a fucking pilot. You know what I mean? He freaks out, apparently. And you can see that. He's like a guy who's all, no, everything's great. But you can see him throwing like a teenager tantrum. But Dad, I don't want to go to school today. Like, you could totally see that. Carlos Silva just doesn't seem like a guy who gets angry and is like, what the fuck? Maybe he is. I don't know the guy. He just doesn't really give off that vibe. Whereas like Triple H being petty or being mad about some shit, or like in Unreal when he's like, dude, you do the fucking thing and then the fucking up here. And like you see him that way. Like you could see him chewing someone's ass out, right? Carlos Silva, I could see him being stern with someone and direct and like, well, this is business. But he doesn't seem like a guy who's like getting angry, furious, as Brian out. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Now, I don't know if that's true. MJF went on Busted Open this morning. He said, let's talk about TNA, the fact they're pulling young talent off of shows, and they're barely paying them any money whatsoever and telling them, hey, you can't wrestle because there's a guy from another promotion that's wrestling on the show. Does that help young talent grow? Does that help young talent become better inside the squared circle? Does that help young talent put food on their plate so they can eat? What Carlos Silva is doing is disgusting.
Okay, well, we heard all that.
That is true. If
For their mouths, them wrestle.
For me to wrap my head around.
If he thinks not letting them wrestle AEW talent on indie shows is taking food out of their mouths, I would say MJF saying don't support that company is also taking food out of their mouths.
Absolutely based, Lance Storm. Here I am. Fuck you like a hurricane. I guess he teamed with Hurricane. I don't know. It was the only Storm reference song I could think of. What's another one? Quick, the X-Men theme. But yeah, Lance Storm, dude, that was a base take, and it's true. Like, that's the problem, is now they're trying to make it like a don't support that company. They're taking the low ground when Tone's like, no, I'm taking the high ground. And you know he's at the helm of it. He's just not going to say anything and have Twitter meltdowns anymore.
Well, that is true. Well, Carlos Silva apparently told Fightful it was due to partner conflicts.
Partner conflicts. Whoa.
Which, of course, sounds like WWE.
Yeah, and it just wouldn't shock me because it's like, and this is why, right? You can't bring Leon Slater onto fucking SmackDown and then have him lose to Ricochet, let's say, when we're about to poach him from TNA, and that's part of the partnership, and TNA's known it, so it's not really a poach. But, like Santana, they're like, his deal's up this summer. Yeah, he's gone, guys. You know what I'm saying? If that's true, he's donezo. He's going to fucking WWE. So I'm with Lance on that take after we roasted him the last show. Cashman A for 2 says he meant to say McDavid, not McGregor. Jericho. So right, and when we were watching Dynamite, I was like, I think I heard McDavid when he first said it, and then it wasn't until I went online after, and I was like, oh, he said McGregor. But the problem is that it doesn't matter because he said McGregor, right? And if that's enough to turn you off, so Jericho goes, well, I meant to say McDavid, bud. It's just what Lance Storm was saying was some bullshit, is all I'm saying, Dude said McGregor, so. And again, why would Jericho be like, I could fight McDavid while he's in Edmonton? That's the hometown hero. That's Edmonton's guy, So would that really be the babyface thing to say? Because I know that Jericho would do UFC references. I remember once early in AEW, he was like, Randy Couture, I knocked him out in a bar fight once in Las Vegas. You guys remember that early on when Randy Couture and some of those MMA guys got involved in AEW, and Jericho cut a promo, and it was actually brilliant. He's like, that old, who's Randy Couture? That old man? He's like, I knocked him out once in a bar fight or whatever. That fucking ruled. So, yeah, dude, speaking of MMA, we got Aaron Pico taking on Patricio Pitbull, having a fucking Bellator fight here. And it just ain't, I don't know. They're behind Pico. But yeah, and then Moose and the Agent are having a Haas match here. Agent Zero. What do you guys call him? The Agent Zero. Spear hit him with the Big E through the table. Everyone's dead on the outside. It's bangers everywhere tonight. Okay, let's get back into this news here, guys. Over 200 watching. Hit like, hit heart if you're on Twitter or whatever. Hit retweet. Just share the show around. Hit like or subscribe if you're on YouTube. Vote in the poll. What are you watching tonight? And become a member for 99 cents or super chat in, or as you guys can see here, patreon.com/Pro Wrestle Times. And yeah, that's how you can support. So we got Patricio's bleeding bad, and then we got Moose and this guy having a banger of a match. Overall, great officiating in TNA as well. You guys know what I'm saying? The refs are all super on point. That should be noted every show. So speaking of TNA, we talked about the wars with AEW, and they are drumming on. They are raising. And we have TNA's schedule here. So Rebellion's April 11, which we're watching right now. And then they're in Syracuse, they're in Sacramento, they're in Denver, they're in Boston, they're in Tampa, San Antonio. They go back to Ontario in August, at the end of August. But then prior to that, they're in Chicago, Philly, Albany, to be decided in October. Then they're in Edmonton, Calgary, and then it's to be decided. And then El Paso. Damn, dude, I might have to hit up Impact in fucking Calgary or Edmonton. I mean, they're there for a few dates. I wonder where they're going to be in October and shit. 14 to 15. But yeah, in November, we might have to hit up some TNA Live, chat. I'll get a sign with a giant flute on it. Yeah, so they're all over the place, and they're making sure to stop through Canada, which is good to see. And again, this is the Canadian territory. It's TNA versus AEW and MLP right now. So they're all over the place. Make sure you check it out. Get ticks. I'm doing free plugs. I do free plugs for feds here. All right? Especially the indies. So we got this teaser. We're talking about Rebellion. We're watching Rebellion. And I didn't do picks. But EC3 is returning tonight. We know that for sure. Just as the war with MJF, he's going to little brother MJF, which is what MJF comes across like. I can't wait because you know EC3 is going to address the shit. And you know he's going to take shots at MJF. Let's take a watch or a listen. It's like Evanescence. Oh, can you see it? See the box, like the old retro box. They can keep going back to that. Here we go, EC3. Now, I want to know, guys. I want to know in our new poll, in the newest poll, we're going to delete this poll and we're going to start a new StreamYard poll. Do you think EC3 in TNA is a positive for the company? And I'm going to put a emoji. Yes or no. I'm going to create this StreamYard poll. So guys, vote 1 in chat or 2 in chat. 1 is yes, 2 is no. Do you think EC3 in TNA is a positive for the company? Ones and twos, vote in this thing. It's a new poll feature, dude. I'm dead set on getting it over. We're going to test it out tonight. Gonzo316 has been a member for 12 goddamn months. And if you're on X, just go into the video chat and just one or two, okay? We're going to figure out how
Acknowledge me.
Thank you for your membership. And you guys can see that if you're watching at home. We move along here. The poll's on the bottom right there. And just to pop everybody on Impact, it seems like Decay. I wonder where Crazy Steve is at. It seems like Rosemary's putting together like a new faction, which is an amalgamation of like her old factions, and who knows what this is going to be. But you have the Sinister Minister, aka JJ Alexander. You have the Bunny, Rosemary, and now seemingly adding another member from Decay.
Does things quite like you do, James.
Well, you know,
Drum roll,
nothing in
please.
the undead realm comes for free.
Darling, we would never ask you to give us something for nothing.
There is a locked room.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned.
It's fucking Abyss.
Give me,
So Abyss was there wearing like his AJ Styles blues.
Father.
You know what I'm saying? So there you go. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was TNA News. And yeah, this Agent Zero guy, dude, he's jacked up. He got a win. I don't think that match needed to go that long. I think they should have went like Haas style, like what Brock and Oba are going to do at Mania. This guy's like skinny, giant, tall, all wrapped in one. He looks cooler in a suit, but it is what it is. And on UFC, they're walking Donald Trump out, and he is there with I think that's his daughter behind him and her group of friends. The girls' night out at UFC. And the crowd's going insane for WWE Hall of Famer Mr. Trump. And Dana White's walking him out to cage side. And we're about to get Ash by Elegance and Taryn Terrell doing their thing and teaming up with the other Elegance gals to take on Taryn Terrell and ODB and someone else. But I am watching Trump come out to Kid Rock as he usually does. And everyone's popping for him right now, even though a lot of people are pissed at him too. And he's shaking hands with, and he's talking to Joe Rogan. But like giving him some shit. Yeah, it's interesting. It's just interesting. Isn't the White House card like the fight at the White House? Like, what a kooky ass thing, you know? But yeah, he's out there for the pay-per-view portion. So what Paramount did is they aired the first two fights of the main card on CBS as well. And then on Paramount, I think you get the final three or no. Hold on. Is there 5 fights on this main? Let me look here. Yeah, yes, there's still 5 fights on the main card. And yeah, that's awesome. That is awesome. Still 5 to go. And so they aired the last 2 prelims on CBS or something like that. Or the first, I can't remember how it's done, or like the first 2 fights of the main card are on CBS, something like that. And then and then you go to Paramount Plus. So I don't know. That's cool. They're doing big boy moves, and pay-per-view is just like a dead thing unless you're AEW and Dave Meltzer lying about your fucking numbers. Anyways, speaking of which, let's get into some more news here as Ash by Elegance guy, the concierge, is cutting up a promo as well. So the official poster, okay, so the official poster of the White House event, UFC Freedom 250, America, USA, 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 go John. Yeah, it's a pretty nice poster, but it's just kooky that they're having fights on the White House, especially right now with all the shit going on. It's weird. But I'll be watching it. That's for goddamn sure. Okay, let's get into, we talked a lot about AEW. So we should talk about AEW news right now. I think it's the perfect transition. We will go to miscellaneous news. Okay. But everybody all together in chat, all at the same time. Ichi Nissan da. And a tone for AEW news. So AEW did their Canadian tour, and David Benoit, the son of Chris Benoit, well, there's now holding me back. I downloaded a sweet Benoit on 2K26. Listen, guys, it's a video game. It's not real. I do not fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to denounce Benoit. We all understand the situation, but it's still cool. It's the Attitude Era, the Monday Night War edition. Okay, the Radicals. Hello. I got a Dean Malenko and Perry Saturn coming up next, okay? Fucking Dean Malenko versus Rey Mysterio in Rey's rookie year WCW for the Cruiserweight title. Oh, just peak. So anyways, David Benoit, though, was backstage with Jericho, Edge, and Christian. I think it would be cool to see Jericho, Edge, and Christian in like a 6-man. That would have been cool on the Canadian tour. But thankfully, I had the benefit of flash photography for a 5-second pose. Only the cool kids will get it. And David Benoit said he wanted to get into pro wrestling. I don't know whatever happened to that. But there he is. And he does look like his dad, for sure. So in other news related to the roster and just things going on in AEW, Lance Archer's AEW contract expires in July, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter by. Now, Lance Archer rules. He has been there more frequently with the Callis family. He's in the Callis family. He has tweeted things out. Nothing negative. He's not a negative dude. He's just, positive and religious, and I'd rather see that than the fucking other slop we get online. And he's just like, look, dude, I can't control it, but yeah, sure, I'd love to wrestle. I'd love to work and shit. He's been there. He's still in shape, and he's doing the damn thing. Him and the Callis family is one of the 13 guys. Okay, if he's just going to be benched and this has been getting him booked more, great. I've always liked this guy. I think he could do good shit in AEW or WWE or anywhere he goes. I know he's older. Will they re-sign him? I could see this being a guy that Tone's just kind of like, well, you're on your own now. Or like maybe they offer him a behind-the-scenes job. I just don't see Tone like really doing much with this guy. Would I bring him into WWE? It just depends. Like, do you have a plan for him? If it's, if it's just going to bloat the roster, no. If you have an idea where it's like, hey, here's a young guy and we're going to pair him with Archer to really get, and he'll be like this guy's heater, and it'll be used to like help get this guy over to protect him and then get this fucking guy over. Sure. Like if they have a plan, like even something as simple as that, that's like the most simpleton fucking idea I could come up with on the fly. Right. So Lance, do I think Tone will keep him around? I'm not positive on that. Do I think he should be in WWE and shit? No. Could he be, though? Yes, if they had a plan. You know, otherwise I don't need, like, I'm not dying to see Archer anywhere. Maybe he just goes back to Japan. Maybe MLW and he mixes, maybe he joins the Skyscrapers and they become they become a trio, right? They become a band. They become the Three Amigos. But yeah, it expires in July. We'll see what happens with Archer, and he'll land on his feet and hopefully not his head like he did that one time. Speaking of Japan and landing on your head, Will Ospreay, bruv. He is, let me see, where's the bruv? He is expected to wrestle more frequently in Japan going forward. And again, I quote tweeted this and it pissed a bunch of people off, but most people agreed with me. It's like, it's amazing that Tone gives this guy millions of dollars to fucking be signed with a company in America that's based in America after coming from Japan, for him to be able to just go wrestle more in Japan again. Like, there's a level of, yes, there's working with people, but it's also like people want to see what you do with him in AEW, dude. And already we're seeing Will Ospreay, since his return, he's the worst part of Dynamite every week since his return. He's done the worst, goofiest shit. And then this last Dynamite, he shows up with his crew, the United Empire, and they're all wearing suits and shit. Instead of like this picture, like typically they wear like feathers and green and shit. Now they're wearing like they wear these black suits, and Windsor's just with him, and he gets to do his New Japan fantasy shit that nobody understands or knows what to react to. Even in AEW, they're like, what the fuck is going on? Why is Ospreay with these people? What's going on? And so he's been the worst part of Dynamite since he's come back, and he is now just like gonna go wrestle in Japan. So not only did he rush his return, but he's just gonna go do more shit in Japan because it'll help them. Like, it's gonna help Japan more than AEW. And it's like, how about this guy proves he can sell some tickets and get over in your fucking company before you just start Tone already rewarded him. His wife's got a job. She's on a 6-figure salary. He's getting millions of dollars. And people will say shit like, he is the top babyface in AEW. Yeah, that's not a good sign. Who's over? Who's really drawing? Who's a powerhouse draw? Their pay-per-view Dynasty has 8,000 people there. SmackDowns that you guys say are dying have over 8,000 people at them. So what type of draw is this guy? Is he really even worth it? And like, I like Will Ospreay, man, but come on, you know? That's kind of fucked. That's kind of fucker, dude. He's going to go back to Japan some more. And then it's going to interfere with what? His schedule in AEW and stuff when he could be on TV weekly there. He's just going to dip out, go to Japan for a bit. Tone will just fly him back and forth. Or what? It just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for AEW. Same with bringing Jericho back in or keep retaining Jericho. It doesn't make sense for AEW. And, yeah, Ospreay, I just don't know if he's going to be worth it. Like, I don't think he can get over. We're seeing what he's doing on Dynamite. He's the worst part of those shows since his return. Just really look at each of his individual things since his return, his segments. They're like, it's some of the worst shit. The worst book shit. And then he did that match with Pac, which was pretty good because Pac was working top guy speed and just working his neck over. Then the finish is, okay, bruv, I'm going to quit selling entirely. I'm going to just start doing backflips, and then I'm going to get a roll-up win. Why? You know? Or like he gets attacked, then he chases the guy off screen. The crowd's like, what the fuck? He attacks the Bumbleclaw Club, the Death Riders. They're like, who do we cheer for? Moxley's supposed to be good. Why is Windsor with you all of a sudden? Isn't she with the Brawling Birds? Who are all these guys in suits? Why is this one guy the size of my 12-year-old? You know? They're like, oh, that's Callum Newman's apprentice. Or like, that guy is Callum Newman and Ospreay's apprentice, and Callum Newman is Ospreay's apprentice, okay? Why should anyone give a fuck about any of this? New Japan's in the state it's in because of this bullshit. And again, too, Callum Newman is going to get poached by fucking Tony Khan. So what does Tone do? The title's on Tsuji. They don't like Tsuji. They don't like fucking Evil. They don't like Takahashi or these guys who don't fucking bow down and glaze AEW. Right? So what the fuck happens? Tsuji isn't featured in fucking AEW like ever with the world title. Callum Newman, all of a sudden, he's just in AEW now. Oh, I'm psyched, bruv. I get to fall down with me friends, bro. Fuck you. Fuck you. So, Ospreay, speaking of which, he had some dumbass shit to say. Again, because he just says dumb shit. I'm sorry. Bunch of these AEW guys just say dumb shit. And so Will Ospreay says AEW should heavily consider running a big weekend for fans with adorable tickets in the U.S., bruv. Well, WrestleMania 43 is in Saudi Arabia next year. It has crossed my mind, bruv, especially hearing WrestleMania would be going to Saudi Arabia. Why not? Well, let me answer that. Because why don't you guys do it? Just do this when All In goes somewhere. Why not? Because there's not going to be a surplus of anywhere from 40,000 to 100,000 spare wrestling fans who are traveled in and are fans wherever you are, but then traveled from all over the world to be there. Like, there's not a surplus of 50 to 100,000 extra fucking wrestling fans in that city that week. Like, come on, man. You have Jericho rehashing fucking...
Just made the list!
Made the list and shit like this. And then you're saying stuff, yeah, why don't we do it?
Stupid idiot!
Well, because, like, why don't you do it just any weekend? Why don't you do it in Denver when fucking WWE's in Sacramento or whatever? You know what I mean? Like, it's so stupid. Like, why don't you do it anywhere during any show? It's the equivalent of saying that. So, Money in the Bank's in Toronto. Why don't we do a show in fucking Detroit? Like, what are you talking about? Because there's not a bunch of people there. So sure, hold a show and it's going to draw like not with cheap tickets. Oh, you mean like every AEW show? Like what you guys are saying you do every AEW show? Cheap tickets. Come on now. So you guys will draw 8,000 and you'll just do a PLE at the same time. It's just such a... Why don't we do it, bruv? Is there no accounting? Is there nobody doing... is there no accountants who work in AEW? The fuck is going on? So there's going to be a bunch of wrestling fans that usually flock to whatever city they are in, and it's something we should heavily consider. Do you hear what this guy says? Guy, chat, listen to this. He goes, why not? There are going to be a bunch of fans that usually flock to whatever city they're in, and it's something we should heavily consider. Why? They're not in any of these cities. Dave Meltzer doesn't do a fan convention at all in Texas because there's as many people as at a Raw. He was just at SmackDown. He didn't hold a fan convention there. And there's as many people as you draw at this fucking thing. Because it's what Dynasty drew. There was as many people at SmackDown as at Dynasty this Sunday. Tomorrow, Time Cop. So that's why. What do you mean? Oh, there's a bunch of people who flock to a city for WrestleMania from all over the world and the country who don't do that for anything AEW ever. Okay?
Would you please shut the hell up?
People aren't going to go to whatever town you're in because WWE's in Saudi Arabia. That doesn't even make sense. They're going to be, do you know what they're going to be doing? They're going to be at home watching WrestleMania emanating from Saudi Arabia. Just like when it's in Chicago or where they when it's in Indy, when it's in Louisiana. Fucking people watch it from the comfort of their own homes, right? Where they travel there, and they're either going to travel to Saudi or they're just going to stay the fuck home. And so he says, make affordable tickets for one of the greatest wrestling shows ever and make it a whole week. So how do you do that? Why? Why don't you do that for All In? Why isn't the idea, let's do the greatest wrestling show ever and make it a whole week of extravagant shows every year because WrestleMania is in a different city and it's a different time? Like, why wouldn't that be the idea? This is literally one of the dumbest shits ever. Ring of Honor on Saturday, help out a bunch of indie promotions on Friday. We can definitely formulate such a great, affordable time for wrestling fans and families. If we don't look at that, what's the point of doing it? I mean, now I feel bad going off on Ospreay because it's like, I know he's like landed on and hit his head a bunch of times. Like, you know, like a bunch of fucking times. So I'm just going to leave it at that. That's a real bad idea. And you didn't even really think it through. You just said some dumb shit, you know, which is totally fine. But, yeah. Speaking of people saying dumb shit, John Alba, he says, Tony Khan says MJF and Ricochet both asked him directly about the matches versus TNA talent, and Tony approved them. I love collaboration and was surprised to see those matches had been changed as a result of the other companies not wanting their wrestlers involved. AEW TNA. Now, I covered this earlier. If you guys are just tuning in or if you're listening to this in clip form, go find the video or rewind the goddamn video like Time Cup and listen to the TNA segment where I talk about this whole war. And fortunately for TNA, they are going to get the brunt of the TNA AEW war talk and TNA news. However, I had to respond to this, and I said, unless you're Ricky Saints and GCW, then you get pulled and replaced with Chris Jericho. You know? Like, nobody gave a shit when AEW was doing this. People wrote about it, but there was no, like, faux outrage. And, yeah, your boy Phil had to own this motherfucker. Tony Khan was also asked what would have been his plans had he acquired WWE. And he goes, okay, actually, they don't quote him, but he said there were a lot of intriguing things happening at the time, naming the pursuit of free agents like Katsuchika Okada, Mercedes Moné, and Will Ospreay. He was focused on AEW, but also cognizant that there was a bidding process. He thought it would have been a missed opportunity to not at least try getting involved. So what he's saying is if he had bought WWE, he would have fucking signed Moné. He would have signed Okada. He would have brought Ospreay into the Fed.
Sometimes in life, you got to be a hoe.
And I promise you guys, I've said this from day one. Jericho would have jumped. If WWE offered the same money, he would have jumped. But they just won't. And that's why Tone's cope on Coach and Bro was, Jericho wanted to be here. He wants to be here. He wanted to be here. Okay, he was coping about that because no, Jericho wants to wanted to go back to WWE. Still might one day. Tone will let him get a Hall of Fame induction and all that. Like, I don't think Tone will ever stop anyone from doing that. And like Ric Flair gets paid by both companies, so Tone will absolutely do that as long as he can have Ric Flair associated with AEW. He's going to do that because he can't create his own shit. He's got to just buy old history and hijack people's history and shit. It is what it is. You know what they say?
Best guys, Tony Khan.
But Tony Khan would have treated AEW like a feeder system. Moxley even said it. I have the title and I don't even actually have a contract. I could have walked into the other company with this title. He said that on his wife's podcast. He'll walk away from AEW, man, if the money's right. Even the Bucks said it. The Bucks were like, we're getting NBA level contracts to stay in AEW and shit. He would have walked in a heartbeat. And there's rumors that the Elite had a conversation about, are we going? And that's like according to Dave and all these motherfuckers. So if we're to believe them, then the Elite were talking about, do we leave to the Fed and shit? That's crazy. They don't give a fuck. None of these guys do. They don't care about AEW the way that they pretended they did. And like they care about it because they work there and they want it to work and all of that stuff, obviously. And they work there and it's like making them tons of money and Tone cares about it and loves it. But I've said this from day one. If Triple H and Shawn Michaels were like, you can come work with us, you're in the creative rooms, and WWE owns AEW and the tape library, and you can continue to book AEW. But we are going to bring you in the creative rooms, Tone, and you can pitch your ideas and shit. He would, in 1 second, sell AEW. And he would jump ship to WWE, pardon me. If WWE went to AEW right now and was like, let's do a crossover show, Tone would jump all over that. That's his dream come fucking
The best
true.
guys, Tony Khan.
And don't ever forget that shit. Don't ever let someone tell you anything different than that. So in other news, Tony Khan says AEW will be working with Stardom and Nuge. We know Nuge, but wrestling this summer on events including Forbidden Door, and it's like, I was hoping Nuge would distance. That's not the case. I think they're truly siding with AEW on this. We're not going to get New Japan WWE crossover. Let's hope Noah gets blowed up big. Let's hope that WWE starts Bushido maxing the way that they were Lucha maxing this year and last year. Let's hope that they really go hard in the paint with fucking Japanese pro wrestling and they try and blow Noah up. I think that would be a really good move, especially if they are bringing Evil and Takahashi and these guys in. That would be the fucking move. And Stardom is working again with AEW. Now, Stardom, I think, will work with anybody. And they're not explicitly like, we're partnered with AEW anymore. But there was a minute there where Stardom flat out kind of stopped, and then AEW kind of signed away their talent. They were always working together, and AEW would feature Stardom girls, but there was a bit there where that wasn't the case, and all of a sudden Mina Shirakawa has to leave Stardom like fully, and she doesn't work in both. She's got to fully sign with AEW. That happened to a couple girls, so I don't know what's going on. Stardom, I think, is the best. Like, if I was WWE, I would do anything. Well, I guess Marigold's got it going on. So you have the Marigold Stardom beef as well, I guess. Right? You have CMLL, AAA, Stardom, Marigold, TNA, AEW, MLP / I guess TNA as well, whatever. But Stardom, I think, develops like women wrestlers just as far as like how to carry yourself and look like a star and how to like really work that strong style and shit. But then the girls really know how to work, like Blake Monroe and like all the ladies you see come over from there. They know how to work their asses off. They know how to present themselves like stars. If I was WWE, I'd do anything I could to have that be like our Joshi feeder system. But yeah, Tone is going to do Forbidden Door with Stardom and New Japan. That's all good. I'm all for that. My AEW has also added the recent Maple Leaf Pro shows, speaking of MLP, to their catalog free of cost. So again, Tone is creating a backup plan. Ring of Honor's on there, Maple Leaf Pro's on there. I bet CMLL finds its way on there. Maybe Stardom, maybe New Japan finds its way on there in some capacity, big events, whatever. And I could totally see Tone trying to just use my AEW for a little while, the way WWE had WWE Network. I could totally see AEW just doing their own thing on my AEW if all else fails and they don't get a big TV deal or they don't get 50 to 80 million or whatever the fuck. That could absolutely be what they do moving forward. And speaking of what they do moving forward, the ratings. AEW has found tremendous success, at least in the eyes of the sickos and Tony Khan, in the fucking ratings recently, right? But they were down from recent weeks this last show. And they averaged under 700K viewers for the first time since Revolution last month. Dynamite averaged 654K viewers, down 10% from the prior week, with 0.14 in the key demo, down 6%. As always, these numbers do not include the HBO Max simulcast. The audience was the lowest since the Revolution pay-per-view in March, where the 18 to 49 rating remained on the higher end of what the show has been doing. And year over year, Dynamite was down 1% in total viewers. Ratings were down 18% in the key demo. The number that matters most, according to Dave Meltzer. And so, again, you got to keep booking good shows. You got to keep your chin up. But the Dynamites, they're not like blowing everyone away. Like they'd be able to keep it over 700 if the last few Dynamites weren't, or the last couple were just had more exciting stuff. Like nobody, I'm sorry, no one wants to see Darby. He's done. No one wants to see fucking Gabe Kidd or Orange Cassidy or any of the, like no one wants to see Garcia. Nobody likes the Death Rider. I'm sorry. Their ratings poison. The Ospreay shit has all been bad since he's returned. There's been some good stuff. I would even say like Jack Perry's kind of like turning it around a little bit. And I mean, there's been some good stuff on there, the formatting, the pacing, but like having no overrun was all good the 1 week, but then this week they did like a 30-minute promo battle overrun. And Tone only did that because he's willing to pay for it to promote Dynasty, which that doesn't work, and that probably hurt the fucking ratings overall because he's an idiot. He should have did no fucking overrun, but also he did that because they were taping a Collision right after, and Tone just jam-packs shit as much as he can. If you've ever been to these shows, you know that. Okay? So they taped Collision after, so we thought, oh, I'll do a half-hour overrun on this, tape an hour and a half or whatever it is of Collision, because with the commercials, it's 2 hours or whatever the fuck. I don't know what he's thinking. No one wants to see Kenny in a suit. There's a lot of shit. I would say, like, on a creative level, TNA is still going stronger. They're still featuring their own guys. They're not relying on other people's history. They're relying on their own, and they're relying on establishing people now. There's a good balance of new guys that they're building and veterans you've seen in other companies and shit. And they might do some silly shit with like the Bunny and fucking Rosemary and stuff, but all wrestling companies kind of do that now. And in AEW, the problem is they just do shit with like the Death Riders and the United Empire that people just don't fucking get. The Google it crowd, they're starting to come out and go Google it again. We're going full circle with the retardation in the sickosphere, right? That's what's been happening lately. It's disappointing. But it's like, nah, man. Tone's been focusing on a core group of guys, and then he just wants to muddy it up. Like, what is he going to do with Jericho? Realistically, is that going to help their show? Jericho's back and the ratings are shit, and even in Edmonton, they don't know the words to his song. They don't care anymore. It's done. Judas is done. He was supposed to come back to fucking break the wall down and go to WWE, but Tone just can't let Jericho go. It's disgusting. So, yeah, their ratings back to 650, and it was down 1% year over year, which is not good because it's down 10% from the prior week, and it's still technically down 1% from the prior year, and the key demo's down 18% from the prior year. So that's not good. I don't care how anybody tries to spin this. Because what happens? Do they go back down to 600K? People are like, fuck this. It's your go-home show for your pay-per-view. And people don't give a fuck. That's a problem. They should care the most about that. They should care the most about that show. And so we move along here. Speaking of Dynasty, this event takes place tomorrow, AEW Dynasty in Vancouver, bud. And there's like 8,000 people there, some shit. And we are going to preview this. Okay? We are going to preview this show. And before we do, so just to comment on what's been going down in TNA as well. So they inducted ODB into the Hall of Fame. right? And they, what else did they do? They inducted, I'm not sure, did they induct someone? No, it was Cub Swanson just got a KO in his retirement fight. And I don't know if they're inducting him or just showing him like a highlights of his career. He might already be inducted, I think, for his fight with Doo Ho Choi. But yeah, he just won his retirement bout and was like crying after getting a fucking knockout. That ruled. And so we are going to preview Dynasty here. And Ash by Elegance was doing Suck It on her titties a whole bunch and stuff like that in honor of ODB. So yeah, are they inducting Cub Swanson? Is anybody watching the UFC? Let me know. Here, we'll end this poll. We have a Tony Khan cringe and a Dynasty preview. So let me stop this poll. Let's see how it plays out. So 56% of you said yes. EC3 is a positive in TNA. Yeah, I don't know if I like the on-screen polls. Chat, let's do a poll. Are these on-screen polls fun? Do you? We should keep. Okay, new poll on the screen. Do you think we should keep the on-screen StreamYard polls? Everybody, make sure you vote on the poll. 1 for yes, 2 for no. Should we keep these polls? Should old Philly Phil keep this 2 2 2 2 2? We're getting spam twos. What poll? They need to stop saying not including on Max and the number. No one has clue. Yeah, but he's just doing that so he doesn't get called a grifter. Wrestling's not fake. Allie and Rosemary had an argument about Allie needing new clothes. Tomorrow, damn, I thought it was Sunday. Yeah, today's Saturday, bud. It's TNA Rebellion tonight. TNA Hall of Fame for women seems to be going in order when they came in. Well, she is now. Aren't the Bushi Road owned by Nuge? It's like 50-50. You guys are 50-50ing on what it should be. So 1's in the chat if you want to have the polls, 2 if you want to get rid of them. Let's preview Dynasty, shall we? As Gordon Ramsay would say. AEW Dynasty. Damn, dude, Mortal Kombat looks fucking awesome. Mortal Kombat looks awesome. So, okay, let's continue, guys. This segment is, of course, called The Best Guys, Tony Khan.
The Best Guys, Tony Khan.
And he booked this show here, and there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 matches already announced, plus a pre-show. So one of these is on the 0 hour, so 8 for the pay-per-view. And we don't know if he's going to add other ones as far as like last minute 0 hour editions or last minute. This is on the pay-per-view the night of. He's done it in the past, but this is, I would say for AEW, don't do more than this, Tone. Don't do more than this, right? Maybe do the gauntlet on the 0 hour, or I guess you want to do the women's strong. Isn't this like the New Japan Strong champion or some shit? Marina Shafir versus Windsor. So Jamie Hayter isn't there. Windsor's just doing her own thing, I guess. But oh yeah, so there you go. Hayter's got a women's world title match. So they're both just split up fighting as singles, even though we spent all this time establishing them as a tag team. Great.
The Best Guys,
That's
Tony
awesome.
Khan.
I'm so glad that they were both single stars, and then we teamed them up, Tone, and then now they're split up in a singles people challenging for singles titles again. Just like we did with fucking Willow. We team her up with Harley to win the women's tag titles, and then Willow wins a singles title, and then she is now in the single. Like, the fuck are we doing? Nonsensical trash shit booking. So there's 2 women's matches for all the fucking crybabies. Looking at WrestleMania, there's more on one night of WrestleMania than women's matches than there is on this whole fucking card. And everybody wants to talk about, women's. Hangman wants to cope and cry about women's wrestling. He's not even on this pay-per-view because he's ratings disaster as well. So you have Alex Windsor versus Marina Shafir. I don't know if it's for the strong title, but Windsor, let me think. Windsor is going to beat Shafir, and then Hayter is going to lose to Tekla in the women's world title. The Casino Gauntlet, I have no idea who's even going to be in it. So I could see someone like, let me think, Bandito. Who's going to be the new TNT champion? Not Ciampa. He had it recently. Like maybe Bandito or some shit. Who do you guys think? I'm not really sure at all who they could have pull it off, because there's so many wild cards that could be in this. It could be someone, it could be like Hitchicero or some bullshit, you know? Maybe Hologram returns and wins it. Who knows? But yeah, it's a Casino Gauntlet for the TNT title. I think Bandito has problems like getting to certain places, and this is in Canada, so I think he has like visa troubles or some shit. Or Dave was saying there's no visa troubles for him in Canada, but in America, I have no clue. He was talking about Trump pardoned all these companies, and AEW was one of them, but for some reason Bandito can't get into America or some shit. I have no clue why it works the way it works, but we'll see who wins that Casino Gauntlet. And then look at this, Andrade versus Darby. Like, nobody asked for this. You were building up to like Gabe Kidd and Darby. They're in car crashes and coffin matches. You'd think that would fucking pay off at this show. And especially in Vancouver, where flying in from Japan is more sensible and shit. In case there is anybody who's trying to make that trip or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And Gabe Kidd's like a Nuge guy. So instead, they go Andrade, who's like getting heat, man, and people are behind him. And instead of him like coming in and winning this TNT title or whatever the fuck, they just got him facing Darby. And it's like, no one cares, man. Andrade would be way cooler against so many other people. You have Jericho back in the company. You have Edge Christian. You have Omega. Well, I guess they did those matches. But again, there's Ospreay. There's all these other wrestlers that I think people would be more into seeing Andrade. Like, you're establishing the pecking order of the title. Hangman was in the mix. Why the fuck isn't Hangman versus Andrade going down? It's stupid. So Andrade's going to get the win. Jericho versus Fingershay. Jericho's going to get the win. Mox versus Ospreay. And it's for the Continental title. I could see Mox stealing this goddamn win. Right? Now, if you think about it, Tekla's the heel. She gets the win. Windsor is like, are you heel or baby? Obviously babyface. She's with Ospreay and shit. But she gets the win over heel Marina Shafir. So that's a heel, a babyface. And I know Tone doesn't give a shit about this, but Andrade's technically the heel, even though people like him more than Darby. So Andrade's going to get a win. Jericho's going to win. He's a babyface. So, yeah, I think Ospreay could win that title. And no other titles will switch hands other than that one. So, yeah, I think Ospreay wins the Continental title from Mox. And, I mean, that's a good move. Ospreay is a European guy who got famous in Japan, who wrestles in America now, quote unquote. He's going to go back to Japan. But that would be the guy that's a good over Mox. Like, the Continental and international titles have largely been held by Americans in AEW. That's the problem. Like, Cassidy had that fucking long reign with the international title or whatever the fuck it was called before. And it's like, okay, why not put it on like a guy from another country? But Tone's just a terrible booker. So yeah, Ospreay should get the Continental Championship here, and then he'll like drop it before All In, and then win the world title at All In. He'll be the one to dethrone MJF. But he'll like hot potato this belt, or maybe it's just like a unification. Maybe Tone's like, I'm gonna get rid because I have the national title, the international title, and the unified title, and the TNT and the Continent. Maybe Tone is getting some sense, and he's like, we'll just absorb the Continental with the AEW World or something. Probably not, but either way, or they have an Ultimate Warrior moment where Ospreay wins 2 titles. I don't know, but the Continental title is literally fucking meaningless. So I could see Mox escaping with it, though, because Ospreay will do jobs. Like, he doesn't give a fuck. He doesn't give a fuck about getting the show over, himself over. He doesn't care. Otherwise, he wouldn't have rushed his return. He would have came back in the fucking most craziest shape you've ever seen him. He would have been selling his ass off, and he wouldn't be doing 360 sentons in his return after crushing his neck for the 3rd time. Right? He does not give a fuck, so he will lose to Mox, but I see him winning that belt. And then Cage and Cope are going to beat FTR. They're going to win the tag titles. And then you have Takeshita and Okada, which is a match that they still haven't like built up to the right way. I think that'll be at All In. But Takeshita and Okada, like, it lost momentum. Like, there was kind of momentum in the feud between the two. But now they're still like, we're in the same faction and we're still being forced to team together because we're both the Japanese guys in the Callis family or whatever. Like, okay, we get it already. We need the payoff sooner or later. It'll probably happen at All In, I guess. And then the Bucks just doing their thing. I think that the Bucks will get the win. And then I think MJF will defend his title against Omega. That's if Omega wins, man, that's the dumbest thing you could do right now. Because let's say the ratings are feeling a boost. MJF has been champ. And furthermore, been there, done that with Kenny. Like, he could win the title, but right now it doesn't help MJF if Kenny beats him. Like, that's not the move. I think MJF should lose it at All In to fucking Ospreay if he's going to lose it. So, yeah, again, I'm picking Windsor, Tekla, Andrade, Jericho, Ospreay, Cage and Cope, the Bucks, and then MJF. That's my preview and my predictions for AEW Dynasty, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah, AJ Francis and Nemeth are actually having a banger, but here's the point where I feel like they lost the crowd a little bit. Like, I feel like they had the crowd. Like, I feel like they had the crowd there and then they lost them. Like, how much more peak can you get them by doing this shit? Kind of lost them a couple times there. But the crowd was going nuts. Francis always doing good business. Big business. And UFC, we got Johnny Walker is entering the cage right now. This UFC 327 has been a great show. Just really good matchmaking, I think, overall. Yeah, they should have ended with the super blockbuster. Yeah, when Nemeth hit that fucking Faymaster off the chokeslam, music's hitting. Yeah, they just... Ooh, Casey Navarro's back, though. That's awesome. That's pretty awesome. And now the old man's got the chair. With the super fame master is what you meant. Yeah. Super kick, chair shots. So it doesn't even really matter. Like, the ref shouldn't even get up and count. He should just be just DQ. Like, it should just be he's DQ'd. I guess you count the pin, but you just wake up, call the DQ, and then say Francis won. They lost the crowd. They lost the crowd there a little bit, but they had a return in mind. I don't know if it popped off the way they hoped it would, but it was what it was. Speaking of not popping off the way you hope it would, I mean, the ratings for Dynamite were what they were. Tony Khan went live the other day. This is the best guy. Tony Khan. And here he is at a museum or something, and of course, it's single cup Tone. Let's check in with Tone. This is a shorter one.
It's great to see you all. It's great to be with you on a Wednesday night. We're going live very soon on Wednesday Night Dynamite. We've got AEW Dynasty coming up this Sunday on pay-per-view, and we've got a huge week of AEW TV starting tonight, just minutes from right now. AEW Wednesday Night Dynamite starts at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central tonight. You can watch it on the Superstation TBS or on HBO Max. You can stream it.
How many times you got to say tonight, Unc?
But don't miss it. It's coming up very soon. The last Dynamite before Dynasty. We've got huge stars here looking for a fight. This is going to be a huge night. And I've got a major announcement right now to make, which is that the TNT champion Kyle Fletcher has been out injured. Based on the current projections for the injuries, we think Kyle Fletcher will be out for months. I am happy to say we do think Kyle Fletcher will be back in the ring this year, which is fantastic. But that does leave the issue of the TNT Championship. We had some huge matches planned for the TNT title in the upcoming weeks.
Okay, so I guess AEW update, the Dogs, Gabe Kidd is a Trios champ. So I'm glad they have the Trios titles. But yes, that slipped my mind. So I guess that's why they just paid off the Gabe Kidd Darby thing on TV.
We had some huge matches planned in the upcoming weeks across AEW.
They're
Kyle
feuding
Fletcher's
with
a huge star.
They're feuding with like Roderick Strong and Orange Cassidy and shit. Why'd you bring these guys in from Nuge just to shit in their fucking mouths, Tone?
In addition to being the TNT champion. One match that I had been looking forward to would have been Proto-Kata versus the Young Bucks. And I think that would have been a huge match in addition to a bunch of big TNT title matches I've been looking forward to involving Kyle Fletcher potentially before this injury hit us. Given the circumstance with the TNT title being a huge part of our show now for 6 years, I think that Kyle Fletcher has been a great TNT champion, one of the greatest TNT champions ever, but I am forced to vacate the title. And there will be a casino gauntlet match this Sunday in Vancouver to crown a new TNT champion at AEW Dynasty. And tonight we will find out who will go into the gauntlet match at number 1. Wrestling is largely about opinions. And tonight we'll have 2 wrestlers. I think.
What did he say? Wrestling is largely about opinions. I think, in my opinion,
most exciting stars and what should be a great matchup for that number 1 spot for the TNT title gauntlet. We'll have a big one. We'll have Tommaso Ciampa, the former TNT champion, taking on 1/3 of the CMLL Trios champions, Mascara Dorado, 1/3 of the Sky Team. And the winner will go in at number 1 in the Casino Gauntlet match. The winner of Mascara Dorada versus Tommaso Ciampa. They'll go in number 1 this Sunday at Dynasty. That's a huge match coming up tonight with Mascara Dorada versus Tommaso Ciampa for that TNT title Casino Gauntlet match number 1 spot. And we have so much to look forward to tonight. We've got a TBS championship match tonight with Willow Nightingale taking on the returning Queen Aminata. Queen Aminata was supposed to participate in the Blood and Guts match, and she's been out injured. She's making her return tonight, and she is ready for a fight. We saw Willow with a fantastic defense of the championship against Hikaru Shida, who has also returned to AEW. So there's a lot to look forward to tonight. the TBS title at stake, TNT title implications, a huge match involving Darby Allin, Jungle Jack Perry, the national champ, and the Ring of
He's just going through it. Tone's just going through it, dude.
Honor
He's
champion
exhausted.
Bandito, who's here.
I can't even roast it, you know? We'll skip ahead of it.
And we'll hear from Kenny Omega live ahead of the huge AEW World title.
He's doing better. 4.5 minutes is better than fucking, you know, him just yelling for like fucking 12 minutes about shit. He's got to whittle it down to like 2 maximum. It should just be 60 seconds. Tonight, we got this. There's going to be a casino battle royal at fucking whatever because Kyle Fletcher can't defend. Kenny Omega's here tonight. He's facing off with MJF in a promo battle. All of that and more. AEW Collision you don't want to miss tonight.
Title match this Sunday, Kenny Omega versus MJF for the world title at Dynasty. So much to look forward to tonight.
I feel bad for Tone in this one. Like it's hard for me to even make fun of him because like he just looks exhausted. You know what I'm saying? Like I kind of feel bad. He forgot his glasses and shit.
And again, it was a huge announcement.
Which he doesn't need. You guys know that, hey? Like Husey told the story on PWT before, like a while ago, that Tony hit up Conan and them and were like, you know I don't need my glasses, right? I got surgery a long time ago. But then, like when they were doing thumbnails, when Husey was making thumbnails of Tony Khan and his glasses. But then Tone started wearing these fake ones with the fake lenses when people were like, oh, Tone looks better with his glasses. He looks more mature. You can take him more seriously type thing. I don't fucking know.
To come and talk to you all.
But he did hit up Conan and was like, oh, you know, I don't wear glasses, you know. Like, I don't actually need them. And then Husey's like, that just makes it worse. You're fucking have Drew Carey glasses.
As soon as I got the news, the doctor's prognosis for Kyle Fletcher, we'll address the TNT title tonight. We'll have the TBS title fight. We got so much more to look forward to. Don't miss Wednesday Night Dynamite, starting minutes from now, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, minutes from right now, tonight.
He could whittle it down. Way more energy, way more excited. Tonight, we have this, we got that. Boom, ba boom, ba boom. Tonight, even hit him with the stupid tonight at the end. At least they didn't do the countdown. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was AEW News. Ichi Nissan da.
The best guys, Tony Khan.
And a yeah. For AEW News. Okay, we got Ariana Grace taking on Li Ying Li. And Walker and Race aren't really throwing down the way everybody thought they would. The crowd's like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Let's end this fucking poll. So 56% say yes. 44% say no. I don't even know how many people vote in that, though. I think probably more people just vote in the YouTube poll. Right? It is what it is. You tried, StreamYard. You tried. So Ariana Grace wearing her like TNA colors, right? The yellow, red, and the black. Stax is with her. I think TNA fans are ready for her to drop the goddamn title back to someone in TNA. And damn, this has been a good show. What is left, though? You have Mustafa Ali, who's just tremendous, versus Trey Miguel, who's also tremendous. You have the System versus the Hardys, and then Santana and Edwards, correct? I think every other match took place at this point. And yeah, we're gonna see, man. Typically, so Johnny Walker and Dominic Reyes, if you're watching UFC, it's just everybody's like, oh, they're just gonna throw and clunk each other out. You know, they're both known for being chinny, and they both have like one-shot power at light heavyweight. And I think people are expecting them to just like throw bones and KO each other, but that hasn't been the case. So fans are a little antsy. The Knockouts title match underway here at Rebellion. I think we should pour out 3 cups for the Tone Cringe segment. Weird that he never plugs the time. Well, he says minutes from now. I think they're Meta glasses. Right, but when did Meta glasses come out? This is years ago, guys, that he fucking said this to K100. Somebody called to Konosuke Takeshita a bum because they were saying he does whatever Don Callis tells him to do. Well, in kayfabe, I mean. So, okay, guys, let's get into, we have WWE news. Let me drink some coffee here. Oh, that's good stuff. It is WrestleMania week, the Go Home Raw. Make sure you become a member. It's only 99 cents on the YouTube channel, and I do member streams every Monday. They're well worth it. And we're going to watch Raw, obviously, the Go Home Raw before Mania together, guys, on Monday. So make sure you're locked in for that. And nordvpn.com/Pro Wrestle Times. It's WrestleMania season. Canadian Netflix and YouTube have everything, and other countries too, internationally. So get that shit, save 75%. Let's get into, ladies and germs, WWF news. Let's fucking go. So Dana White, you know, there's UFC 237 going on right now, or 327 going on right now. And you have TNA Rebellion going on right now. And, of course, WWE AAA on Fox is on tonight. And there's all these crossovers. And Dana White comments to Nina Drama and Aiden Ross, 2 of Earth's mightiest cringe lords. Dana White's chilling with them, smoking cigars. And he gives his comments on WWE.
Ask Dana's thoughts on the WWE.
Thoughts as far as what?
I don't know. Someone asked that.
It's inside. It's in my family. The WWE is in the TKO family.
That's right.
I'm not a big WWE fan, but I'll tell you what blows me away is how fucking massive that business is, and how well it does, and how long they've been on top of their fucking game is amazing. I mean, I was a kid watching the WWE, so the fact that it's just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger is very fucking impressive what they've done.
Right. Ask Dana's.
Yeah, so he's never changed on that. Dana's just not a big pro wrestling guy. Vince tried to get him in a match, right? And so a news anchor pulled up on Paul Heyman, speaking of trying to work someone into a match. Fox 5 New York just cringed everyone out to death with this segment, and Paul Heyman no-sold it, and it is Paul Heyman perfection. And this is why Paul's one of the fucking goats right here. He just absolutely flips this on this motherfucker. And it's because, again, Heyman's not going to sit there and let you make a mockery of his business, you know? So this actually, I think this juice is, this fruit bears much more juice than, or this tree bears much more fruit than I think meets the eye. So let's fucking, at first glance, right? So let's take a look here. Paul Heyman masterclass in keeping kayfabe alive.
Are you always ready and game for any kind of like fun that you could have in life and here on Good Day New York?
I don't know, because I'm not really a morning person, so fun it.
Oh, Heyman!
If you're gonna do it, take your best shot.
I'm here with Seth Rollins. Gunther can't save you now.
See, this is just the typical type of shtick that sometimes happens when you expose yourself to the elements, especially to people.
Aren't you afraid? Wait a minute, I was doing the thing.
No, because I heard you're from New Jersey.
Hit him. Oh, look.
Oh, listen, and then that lady's yelling over his one-liner, cooked him. Listen to that again. He goes, no, because I heard you're from New Jersey.
Hey, wait a minute. I was doing the thing.
Cooked.
No, because I heard you're from New Jersey.
Hit him. Oh, look.
So you're going to hit me, lay it in.
No,
And
no, I don't think so.
by the
I
way,
can't really hit you.
it's with this side of the chair, not with that side of the chair. So if you're going to do it, at least do it right.
See, I almost.
All right. See, now you have to go with your tail between your legs. That's it. You're done.
We almost had him. Thanks, Paul. I love
So
you.
he hits me anyway. So I'd rather get hit with a chair than the way he just slapped me in the back.
I love this.
Why is there so much disrespect anymore? It's the wrong side of the chair.
Yeah, I think Heyman truly feels kind of disrespected. That's why he's like throwing the one-liners. And I'm not saying he's hot, but he's like, come on, dude. Why'd you just slap me on the back, too? Like, what are you trying to big dog me or do a physical? I'm a fat, old fucking manager. You don't see that. But, I mean, Heyman will rip him to his face. You know, he's been in there. I'm sure there's got way bigger guys than this fucking stooge on the news who have potatoed him and shit. I don't think he's worried about it.
To go with your tail between your legs. That's it. You're done.
We almost had him. Thanks, Paul. I love
So
you.
he hits me anyway. So I'd rather get hit with a chair than the way he just slapped me in the back.
I love this.
Why is there so much disrespect
here we go.
anymore?
Here we
It's
go.
the wrong side of the chair.
Again,
Jeez.
Dan.
What part of Jersey are you from? My
Can't hit you too
God,
hard. I don't want to
man.
get in trouble. Good to see you.
You're past the point of that.
Are you?
Oh, shit. Paul Heyman just cooked that goof. Okay, so we move along here. And speaking of funny moments on television and seeing wrestlers interacting with real life people, Liv Morgan is lit as fuck. You can just tell by looking at her face. And she spills her drink as she was about to be shown on screen on ESPN during the Spurs versus Blazers game. And some poor ladies like cleaning it up.
Well, WrestleMania
And I think
40
she's with Raquel Rodriguez.
ready to deliver a massive two-night spectacle from Vegas, April 18 and 19, bringing together WWE's biggest superstars for the most anticipated event of the year. You can stream every moment live on the ESPN app.
Like, she's just laughing. This poor, and her and Raquel are just laughing away. This lady's cleaning this shit up.
Unlimited
And she's like, I'm so sorry. You can see her saying that. And then she's got the big goose egg. And this all goes down while she's being shown on the big screen. Timing is everything. Much like that guy with the chair, right? I'm sure he visioned that going much differently than how it played out. And it's the timing as well to interrupt, or much like that other lady anchor speaking over Heyman's fucking New Jersey joke one-liner, right? The fucking camera goes to her and she's filling a drink.
And Raquel Rodriguez, two WWE superstars.
And what is Raquel saying here?
Here tonight watching some NBA basketball.
Oh, let's go. I'm
So they're joking with her. They're having
more
a
of a
good
Rhea
time.
Ripley guy. That's me. My kids and I love a little WWE.
And then this guy puts up a brick. NBA sucks now, dude.
My kids and I love a little WWE.
Oh my God. Just a wide open fucking brick. Moving along here. So, Damian Priest. We see a lot of the celebrity crossovers and whatnot. And, well, we'll actually circle back to that. Let's circle back to that. Roots of Fight. Ric Flair had a meltdown about Roots of Fight, but we're talking about WWE crossovers and whatnot and how popular they are. Coming soon, a WWE Roots of Fight collab, and Ric Flair was talking some shit about how he was no longer allowed to work with Roots of Fight, and maybe that's because he signed with AEW, but then he retracted his statement or whatever. Did he get an email that he misunderstood or some shit? Because it has to go through WWE because they're now exclusive with Roots of Fight or some shit. And did Ric Flair just misunderstand some shit? Was he on the sauce? I don't fucking know. But right after Ric Flair's little back and forth with WWE, or it was a one-sided back and forth, I guess. But after his little tizzy there with WWE, Roots of Fight announced that they're making merch with WWE, and that fucking rules. Okay. Speaking of WWE merch and shit like that, the WWE Club QR code, when you scan it, it goes to this. I don't know what the fuck this means. It looks like The Ring Part 5 or whatever. I don't know what this means, but this is the WWE Club, which is this new thing they trademark and they're starting to market. So that's, I think, The Grudge, right? Coming out of the well or whatever. Is that The Ring? Which movie is that? I forget. There's The Shadow. This is Black Phone. And it's pro wrestling. This is what's the one where the Cloverfield? What's the alien one that's like found footage?
Talking me? Huh? Do you know who I am?
Okay, it's Disney, it's Marvel.
Toxic masculinity.
Dude, the burning lariat from Gunther. The Club WWE, I still don't really understand. It's just like you get access to shit first or something. I have no clue, but if you're buying merch, use my affiliate link down below for WWE Shop. It's in the comments somewhere. I'm sure there's a sale on right now for WrestleMania. Everything's on sale, Cole, as Pat McAfee pointed out, which we'll talk about in just a little bit here. So Jacob Fatu cuts one of the realest promos ever off the top of his head just now. And he linked up with Bootleg Kev. Shout out Bootleg Kev. And let's listen to what Jacob Fatu has to say. And then we're going to get into some Jey Uso controversy here.
Drew's accomplished a whole lot. I'm not taking nothing away from Drew, bro. Drew is one of the baddest cats on the planet. Okay, we get that. Okay, I haven't been in WWE that long. All right, but don't get it twisted. I'm one of the bad cats. I'm one of the dopest, bro. I'm one of the hardest cats up in there.
For sure.
Okay? I will slap the shit out of you and smile and give you a hug right after. All right. But what I'm trying to say is, I'm a man, bro. Okay, I got my kids.
I'm a man. It reminds me of like Brian Callen, right? His jokes are all like, I'm a man. I'm a man dragon.
There could be no, oh, good luck. Oh, it was the best shot. Try again. Nah, man, we're not doing that. I'm a man. Drew's a man. Besides the whole backstage, people politicking, people saying, oh, there's a stimulation. Oh, man, I don't need a title, bruh. I'm not wrestling for no title. I came here to make money, to take care of my family, and when you bring up Jacob Fatu, bro, you're gonna feel this, all right? You're gonna feel the whole Sacramento, you're gonna feel the whole NorCal, you're gonna feel this. It's just ain't a life-changing, oh, Jacob has a great story. No. Somebody's gonna lose, bro. And it don't gotta be at WrestleMania, it don't gotta be, this ain't no build-up, this ain't nothing. This is just with everything going on in the back, to the politics, to the stipulations, to everything. And let's keep it 100. I'm looking dead in the camera. I'm not losing. Somebody has to lose. All right? This ain't got nothing to do with no work, no build-up. This is nothing. I woke up this morning and they said, bro, can you do some things? I was like, okay, I seen your name. And I got so happy. All right? Now you bringing it up. And now you're bringing it up for a good reason because, man, it's just been a little hot. All right. And even the company knows I will get released from this shit. Okay. Because if Drew's, man, we really.
Shout out Bootleg Kev, the Bootleg Kev podcast. Make sure you check it out. Fatu's going off. He's like, I will get fired from this shit. They know that.
Want to take it like that?
God
man,
damn,
we're talking about taking food off my family's table. Okay. And this company, and y'all seen it before. Okay. One loss. Okay. I just got here. There's no way in hell, bruh. I'm going down here.
Yeah, he just has an element of violence that I can't wait to see play out at WrestleMania. EC3's back in TNA, so let's see what we gotta do, what we got to think about this, rather. Sorry, we are all over the place tonight. Yeah, so EC3's back. Let's listen to what he has to say. Let me pull up this graphic again. Yeah, so people are saying Carlos Silva got booed as well. I didn't realize that. I think that was earlier on. I must have missed that. Royce went to jail. Royce didn't go to jail. La Catalina debuted in AAA. Is that true? Let's look it up. La Catalina. If you guys are lying, then you're banned. I'm banning you. No, she's there. No, she's there. You're right. She showed up, and they're just building their women's division again. Early on, you guys saw AAA had it was older ladies, right? I was pointing it out, and I just said it, La Catalina could be the one to end Flammer's, could be the one to end her streak, and then I think that propels both of them, because Flammer could win it back, and this could be like a generational feud between these two ladies, And so, yeah, I'm going to put that in. We're going to react to that in a minute. EC3's talking. Dude, he's shredded. EC3 shredded. And yeah, he was just like, I'm from Cleveland, bitch. Yeah, it's a big get for them, honestly, because I think that guy could realistically get over in any promotion. They're digging in the crate. He's in great shape. He doesn't look washed. He sounds and looks great, and he can still go. And if he cuts the right kind of promos, he's exactly the guy you want to be going back and forth with MJF. They're the same. Like EC3 can cut promos like, dude, you're my clone, buddy, or like whatever. You could put out a tweet saying that, drum shit up. He's good on the mic, and MJF is accused of doing everything he's done. So EC3 could get on the mic and be like, look, you might want to take shots at me and Carlos doing shit we did 10 fucking years ago. But if it's EC3 saying it, then it really fucking will cut deep, and it will trigger AEW. I promise. It will trigger the fuck out of them. So okay, let's get back into news. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for more WWE news. So in AAA news, guys, AAA on Fox, La Catalina officially taken from CMLL and debuting in AAA. She was unhappy in CMLL after being misused, sort of. And some people, we covered this on the show already a few days ago or last week or whatever, where some people are saying, look, she became unhappy because she was pushed as the next big thing. She was featured in AEW. She was featured in ROH, and CMLL was really building her up. But then AEW girls came into CMLL, Mercedes Moné being one of them, and then they start winning the title, and then the feuds start becoming about them, and then she gets pushed to mid-lower act. Now, it only made sense, like, regardless of WWE versus AEW, like, fuck all that. If it was just CMLL and AAA and whatever, it would make sense for AAA to scoop her up because not only is she from a rival promotion, but also she has a great look. She could be easily marketed in WWE. If they put her in NXT right now, you wouldn't bat an eyelash. And she's in great shape. We know she's a solid hand. She's a herb. She's a herb. A herb. No, she is smoking though. Hey, good. I'm over here now. Oh, but she is somebody that you've heard of if you haven't seen her wrestle. Like Catalina. It's like a name. You're like, okay, you've heard it floating around, even if you're not an uber wacko or sicko. And furthermore, AAA, you noticed early on, they had some older ladies in that division. And I just think that establishing new young stars is the way to go. And you have people like Las Toxicas who are obviously established, and you have some girls, some ladies there in AAA that are doing the damn thing, but some of them were on the older side, so it makes more sense that you're going to scoop up some ladies to push into the future. Flammer, they're building like a whole longest reigning title run behind her. She's got a great look. Her crew's got a great look. She's been doing the damn thing, and now La Catalina could be the one to end that, and then you really catapult her. It's like a dagger into CMLL's heart and back, and it's like fucking it's like somebody who could really propel AAA, who has crossover appeal, at least in my mind, just at first glance, you know. And I really like this. Let's listen to the reaction.
No way, Ray. Come on.
No, I don't know. I'm trying to read her.
She looks super emotional. Huge get. She's probably getting paid in the shade. If she continues to get reactions like that, who fucking knows? You know, I like some of the women's wrestlers. Like, what's the one girl? She's going to be in 2K. Her name's like Lady Shin or some shit. I don't know. I forget everyone's names. There's like Apache and everything. They rule, but do they have the appeal of like a La Catalina? I'm just saying, like, at first glance, you're like, oh, yeah, that's a WWE superstar right there. So that's all I'm saying, man. You could really run with her, and it's not like anybody could shit on it because CMLL was about to do the same thing. So might as well pull the trigger on it, right? And I'm with it. Huge reaction, huge fanfare and crowd reaction for that. Again, dude, the wrestling wars are fucking heating up. This is just another move. This is another pawn play, SP play, 40 checkers, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Now, again, this is somebody who you got to remember too. CMLL, like WWE was looking at buying CMLL possibly as well before they went with AAA. Like they were out there scouting. So, this is somebody who's been on their radar as well. It's not like they didn't know who the fuck she was. And if they were investing in CMLL, they probably would have pushed her too. I think she worked. Didn't she work under a mask in WWE as well, guys? Am I wrong about that? Do we have to Google it? And we're ageist here at PWT, so we're going to look up her age as well. La Catalina age. Let's start with that. 25 only, dude. I'm 25 years old. My mother, God rest her soul. And La Catalina from Chile. And I think, didn't she like wear a mask or something in WWE? Yeah, so she was on Raw wearing a lucha mask, exactly. And she was Carolina, that's it, Carolina. So, again, she's been on their radar. Why did they drop that? They beat Andrade and Zelina. Yeah, that's some Vince era shit, so they just dropped it, huh? And then during main event, she lost to Asuka. She returned to main event, lost to Belair. She was in a battle royal. So, yeah, she did a bunch of shows. She changed her name, went to NXT, lost to Xia Li. So she's been in the system already at a young age. And this is what I've told people before, too. on this show, I guess I've told you, the PWT universe, people go like, oh, you're done in WWE. Like Zeta Steele, they just count her out now because she went to AEW for a bit. It's like, no, man, she could easily come back to WWE in a few years. That's not that's not outside the realm of possibility, especially when you're in your 20s or like early 30s. Like, they're not just going to job you out. You're not done or cooked because you were in the system, then you left. It doesn't mean you couldn't make it in the big leagues. A lot of people just write people off. She's back. She looks better than ever. And I don't know. I'm all for this, and it makes me more interested. I don't have AAA on or Collision. I'm going to have to watch those later. But anyways, we move along here, and clear message from La Catalina. The Ring Diva wants to become the new Queen of Queens. Rhea de Reyes for the women's title. Speaking of women's wrestlers, okay, Jey Uso is in a bit of controversy, and people were roasting him because he keeps Instagramming out like drunk stories or something. And he dropped this Instagram story saying, yeah, she minds. And people are roasting him and saying like, oh, there's a 13-year age gap. Like, he's 40 and they're talking about Jada Parker and she's 27. And I just think that's where people are going fully retarded. Like, if someone's 18 and you're like a 40-year-old, that's kind of creepy. Like, I agree with you. Even like 30, you're like 35 picking up on 19-year-olds or whatever. But listen, man, at what point do women have agency in their adults? Do you just think that they're child infantilized kid brain tards who can't fucking, then they shouldn't be allowed to vote and drive cars too? Is that what you're saying? Let's revoke all their rights because they're dumb children. Like, at some point, a 27-year-old's allowed to decide she wants to date a 40-year-old. I'm sorry. Like, it just is what it is. So, I mean, and there's so much judgment. I think Jey Uso, so everybody's speculating again. I think Jey Uso is now, like, again, if it's like a Marty Skrull with the fucking, don't condone. When you have teen, I'm like, that's cooked. But it's 21 adult. Are you allowed to drink and drive a car and do everything when you're 21? Then, okay, we all agree there's agency there. So what are we talking about? Right? Like, I don't know, right? When you're 27, I think you're able to know what type of relationship you want to be in. She might like older dudes, or maybe they just really love each other. Who knows? Everybody's like, Jey Uso's married and shit. Maybe they have an open thing. Maybe they are just quietly divorced. Maybe they're just separated but not divorced, and they just don't publicize all of it for the kids. But he's drunkenly tweeting out like, yeah, she minds. And like, he was tweeting, or he was Instagram storying out other things like, we sent motherfuckers to the moon and shit. And it's like, okay. So we move along here. And speaking of the roster and everything, it's WrestleMania season, and Natty by Nature tonight at the Dungeon, we poured our souls on the mat, and she actually put a kitty cat face over Jada Parker, who's there like arm in arm with Jay. And we've seen fans run up on them after shows. They leave together in the same car. We've seen them in the club like grabbing each other's laps and shit. When you see us in the club, we be acting real nice. See us on the floor, right? So she was clearly there. It was Jada Parker, Miss Parker, and there's Brody Lee Jr. there. And Natty though, like, put a kitty cat face over, because I don't know why Natty did that. I don't know what's up with that. What's up with that, as Hurricane Helms would say. But yeah, they're together. So just let them be together, man. They're adults. Like, did his wife come out and go, I can't believe he fucking left me for something? No, then shut the fuck up, right? Until they want to make it messy and make it dramatic. It isn't any of those things. It's just people on the internet speculating about people's personal lives when they have no fucking clue. So Joaquin Wilde was sporting his new look once again on WWE Main Event. Blake Howard notes that it's almost like he's spinning the tables again. So here's DJZ pretty much, right? And yeah, they should just dismantle the LWO, bring it back as a heel faction of WWE guys in AAA. Like, make it Los Lotharios and those guys again, or what do you call them? Legado del Fantasma, Los Garzas, whatever the fuck their names are now. You make it like a bunch of guys from, even if it's like DJZ and Cruz Del Toro and shit, just make it dudes who are from WWE primarily, who are in AAA now, and they're just trying to steal up all the TV time and not allow other talents who are like more in AAA focus to, like Mr. Iguana. They can start beefing with like Psycho Clown and shit. And yeah, that could definitely work. Speaking of what's working, NXT's ratings scored its best audience since mid-February for last Tuesday's episode. NXT averaged 605K viewers, which is up 6%. Again, only 50K down from Dynamite, and apparently their numbers aren't tabulated the same or some bullshit. I have no clue. But a 0.08 in the key demo, which is even rating per Programming Insider. And the audience was the best since the 2/17/26 episode, while the 18 to 49 rating was tied with the prior two episodes. Year over year, it was down 11%, though. And the 18 to 49 was down 53. So comparable to Dynamite. However, NXT, they need to figure it out. They all like called up a few of their main guys who were on that show, that everybody was watching that show. And now they're watching Raw and SmackDown, trying to see fucking Javon and Oba and shit. So, and Trick, man, Trick is him. Trick is that motherfucker. Okay. And so, dude, Hokit and Curtis Blades are throwing down. I have to watch this. And Mustafa's doing his thing with Trey Miguel. Hokit just gassed himself out throwing bombs at Blades. Now Blades is going to wrestle fuck him. Yeah, he just couldn't get Blades out of there. He should have saved those bursts maybe, because he just gassed himself out. Damn, the Meteora onto the stairs. I'm over here now. Yeah, I'm going to throw on, after UFC and shit, I'm going to throw on AAA and watch that on replay tonight for sure. And Collision, I mean, what happened? They were in Edmonton, so that'll be like while I'm catching these, I'll throw that on in the background. Oh, while I play Pokemon Brown on my phone, the ROM hack by Rainbow Devs. Shout them out. You guys ever play Pokemon Brown Edition? Oh, dude, yeah, Blades and Hokit are just throwing down. Oh, Blades is going to TKO Hokit because he has more fight IQ. This guy spent too much time trolling in the lead up. That's the problem. Now this Hokit guy, look him up. He cuts these WWE style promos. I don't know. He's not going down though. Like both these guys are just throwing the fuck down. This is insanity. I love Ali and Miguel, but I'm telling you, this might be one of the best heavyweight fights. And these are two guys who are primarily wrestlers, too. Yeah, these guys are clinched up. Let's look for... Man, these guys, sorry, you gotta be watching this fight. If you're not, I'm telling you. And Miguel and Ali are going off, but I feel like the crowd's a little burnt. They got a lot tonight already, no? Is it just me? I'm surprised either of these dudes made it through this round. Yeah, these heavyweights. Damn it, I got super glue all over my phone. To be fair, UFC heavyweight fights have sucked almost as bad as Pat McAfee. Yeah, we're about to talk about SmackDown and Pat McAfee here. Actually, I think Haley's comment was 86. Space was big in the mid 80s. Put Ray Phoenix in it. He needs something to do. Yeah, we need the LWO as a heel faction, a WWE guys. Yeah, trying to like not even necessarily take over, but just kind of take TV space. Like that's how it starts. It starts small. Like we're just trying to take TV time. We worked harder. We're from the bigger Fed. Not like full blown, we're usurping power and shit. But like a heel group and they could just be heel in AAA as well. Like if some of them are also on SmackDown, like Ray Phoenix could be babyface on SmackDown, but in AAA he's a heel invader or whatever. That could totally work. This UFC match is insane, guys. We're staying locked in. I feel like TNA, they've kind of lost the crowd a bit, and they're just hitting each other with crazy moves right now. Hokett looks like he might have. Oh, huge right hand. He's got a second win. Yeah, let's see. Oh, they're just trading because, like, yeah, these guys, neither of these guys have tremendous boxing. And so that's allowed them both to just heavyweight throw slugs. They're just 1-2ing each other up the pipe, back and forth. And then Hokett keeps flipping them off. And Hokett does these wrestling promos where he talks like he does rhymes like Chael Sonnen would do. And he fucking was dressed up like he was trying to be like a cholo gangster type guy, I guess, you know? Like, oh my God. And then that 450 cutter, like what's going on? I'm too ADD for all of this shit. But this Hokett guy fighting in the UFC, he was doing this gimmick where he's like, Orale Holmes, like, you want to fight me, SA? You know, like that sort of thing. Oh, I can't believe Miguel kicked out, dude. Oh my God, I can't believe Blades is on his feet still, dude. Oh! And they're chanting, holy shit. Yeah, the crowd's in it, man. Yeah, these guys are just throwing down, and Blades can't necessarily get a takedown anymore. He's so tired. So now it's just going to be a sloppy boxing match, and whoever's will breaks first, you know, like whoever gasses more and whoever's will breaks is who loses this. That's what it boils. The wrestling's now canceled out effectively from both these guys. Oh my God. And Blades is just eating straights. And Blades is really a gatekeeper. Like you beat him, you get a shot at the title, or you're like in the top 5 conversation. Ali gets the X Division champ, which is all good with me. Ali fucking rules. Ali's been really doing some of his best work outside of WWE character-wise, but that 450 cutter was just mental. Oh, excuse me. Blades is almost out. Oh my God. Yeah, one of the greatest UFC heavyweight fights of all time happening, and I don't say that lightly. Oh my God. Oh my God. Ref, Herb Dean has to consider stepping in when you're landing hands like that. Holy shit, man. This is crazy. Blades is just eating jabs, mouth open. Oh, and then he's throwing back. Oh my God. Dude, this is fucking nutty. Woo! Throws a leg kick, just like throws one out there. Okay, Blades, where were these leg kicks earlier? Keep throwing the leg kicks, dude. I'm not even really cheering for anyone. Both these guys are just throwing. It's like, who's going to drop? Oh, elbow on the inside. They're just throwing. It's only round 2. Yeah, these guys are fucking. The cutter was so sick. I know. I'm like getting full blown fucking. I'm Dave Meltzer maxing right now. It was the greatest thing I've ever seen, Ryan. I'm just fucking spurging out right now.
Oh my God, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
See, that was where in TNA, where an example of, I feel like they were kind of losing the fans a little bit. Then they hit 2-3 crazy shits and then ended it. Instead of like having the crowd, then you do 2-3 shits and then you lose them. You know, that was kind of the opposite of that. So they did a good job. Also, Xia Brookside attacked Lei Yingli, Xia Li. Now, like, Blades is in it with Hokit, but Blades is wearing the damage way worse, so that's going to look bad for the judges. Like, Hokit isn't wearing the shots. Like, he's not as swelled up and bloody as Blades is, you know? Oh, and they're just trading 1-2s. Like, there's an overhand to end the round. Hokit's still just trying to talk shit, and he just keeps flipping him off. And he just like plays a wrestling character essentially, which is why people love him. And this is one of the greatest fights of all time. We're following the White Rabbit, and we have the Sinister Minister and Abyss and Rosemary here. And we're going to see what happens with this. And we're locked in. Here, I'll pull up the TNA card so we have it here. We have a bit more WWE news. I just am now locked into this fucking fight. And I must see it through to its conclusion. A crazy night of fights. You also had Cub Swanson with a great finish. Raisin Walker, I don't know if that lived up to the hype necessarily. You had on the early prelims, dude, Gastelum got tapped out by Vicente Luque in the first round at middleweight, dude. It's fucking crazy on the early prelims. Okay, now they're throwing. Blades should have been throwing these leg kicks from Jump Street, from 21 Jump Street. Yeah, I like Abyss. And if he's not going to bump, like, I'm down with Abyss and TNA. This is the most ADD show ever. I know, chat, but thanks for rocking with me. Over 200 all night. Appreciate you, motherfuckers. And it's really whoever wins this round for Hokit and Blades. Let's see what the Sinister Minister wants from Abyss. Like, is he going to do one more match for TNA and then officially retire? Or is he just going to be there as like an intimidator or just like a side character? Does he pass his energy on to someone? Or is he like there working in TNA sometimes while also working for WWE? I'm curious. If you haven't hit like yet, get on that shit. Smash that like button. Smash that like to obliviacry. Yeah, I think Hokit and Blades are just going to go to a decision. Like, I don't think either of them is going to drop. But they're both just like wobbly and gas, throwing jabs at each other. And they're just throwing 1-2s. They're just throwing 1s and 2s at each other. I mean, oh my God. Both guys gave up on the wrestling. Then when they get close, they just start uppercutting each other in the fucking clinch and throwing knees. Oh. And the only thing is that Blades is just bloodier and shit. So that's why in the judge's eyes, he's going to fucking lose this. And it's hard to even tell, like, who won this fight. I'd have to watch it back because they're both just, I think it's a round apiece, in my opinion. I think Hokett's pulling away with this one. Halfway through the round, it's Hokett. So what is Abyss doing? Or is this just closure on all their shit? Is Abyss, I wonder, just going to like teleport his energy into some other monstrous wrestler? That would be cool. They already have Ali coming back from the dead. I mean, how much more silly do you guys want? And Blades throwing back. And can I just say, like, Blades is doing a great job of moving his head. With Hokett, he just stays in the line and he just like walks backwards when he gets hit. Like there's no moving out of the center line or like head movement to get the head out of the way. It's either straight back, which I'm surprised he's not knocked out already doing that. And Blades early on was doing the same thing, finally started moving his head. But yeah, it's just a minute left. They just rock 'em, sock 'em the whole fight. I mean, a crazy ass fight. If Blades had a fucking blasted those leg kicks from the start of the fight, though, I think he'd have taken his leg out. Because he's landing every single one of them. But I guess you don't know that till you're in there fucking boxing this dude. So again, this is where styles make fights, right? Like it's two wrestlers that canceled each other out. It's almost like, and then earlier you see Dominic Reyes and Johnny Walker fighting, and everybody thought they were just going to slug bang it out. But it's like they almost canceled out each other's slugging and banging. You know, that happens a lot in MMA. Because they're both weary of it happening. So like Blades and Hokett both canceled the wrestling out and just fucking are eating elbows. They're just elbowing and punching each other in the face nonstop, 15 minutes straight of violence. Yeah, Hokett's just dumping it on for the last. See, he knows how to win a fight like this, dude. This is how you win. This guy burst on the scene like out of nowhere this year, really, too. I think he won it. I think Hokett won it. Okay, round of applause. What a fucking fight. That was fucking crazy, dude. That was fucking crazy. The president liked that one. Okay, speaking of craziness, guys, we got WWE news. It is the week of the build to WrestleMania. It's WrestleMania week. I'm hyped for it. And for WrestleMania 42 weekend, the ESPN app hosts a first ever WWE wedding in Las Vegas. 5 couples become tag teams for life, brother. Officiated in the ring by The Miz. The WWE wedding experience. Like, you got to be fucking kidding me, but I would totally do that. That's craziness. And so, you know, we had the penultimate Raw and SmackDown. Raw ruled. SmackDown, it had some highlights and it had some really lowlights, in my opinion. Okay, so where it was good, it was good. Where it was mid, it was fucking mid. And it was bad, okay, in some areas. One thing they announced, though, for the WrestleMania SmackDown is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which I cannot wait for. I wonder who's going to win that. I'm not too sure. We don't even know who's going to be in it. But whoever wins it, hopefully it means something and it results in like a U.S. title shot or a something or other. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, not just here's a trophy and go fuck yourself. But like something of actual significance. And I had a couple critiques of SmackDown as we review it a little bit. Here, just a quick recap of what went down on SmackDown before we get into all the Pat McAfee stuff, or McAfee, depending on who you ask. So I wrote this. The Book of Keys rules which it does. So they're doing the Book of Hobbs, but it's the Book of Keys essentially. And that's what they should just steal it from AEW. They're recreating Ciampa shit in AEW with Johnny Gargano, trying to steal that. You might as well just fucking do the Book of Keys and do the baddies. Like, that's what worked for them that they never capitalized on. The McAfee Orton Rhodes Jelly Roll stuff is hot garbage ass cheeks. I wrote, they were possibly teasing Triple H HBK with that truck in the background while Aldis gets asked who he answers to. Did you guys notice that? Fatu versus Drew build just feels flat. I mean, they broke out the whips and the chains and the fucking, and everything else you could. But it's like, now you're just taking away from the fucking match we're about to see. So why are we doing this now to try and heat it up? It sucks for both of them. Honestly, it does. It's a big name match for them both. Okay, cool. Like, I'll watch those guys brawl all day, but it just really is disappointing. Danhausen and Kit Wilson rule. That shit was so good. Alexa Bliss and them getting wins because they're not going to win at Mania. And then I said Trick and Yachty are golden. Sami Zayn is getting booed because it's just more Cody Rhodes type shit. I'm a wrestler who loves you guys and he just doesn't need the US title, and people sense that. Trick is super over. They like Trick and Mello more right now. It is what it is. Jade Cargill got the biggest win of her life, and Io Sky went out there to make her look like $1 million, and she did. A win over Io's no joke. And yeah, that adds a lot. I mean, is it kind of wasting it when that could be its own pay-per-view thing again eventually? Possibly, but it adds a lot of like legitimacy to Jade going into this Mania match. It's like, ooh, she could beat Rhea, But to break some of this down, I mean, Danhausen, he's just funny as fuck. The whole crowd's doing the "you just got cursed" thing. He should only do it like once a match, though. He tried to do it a second time, and it still went off, but it's like, don't kill it. And then, yeah, they did the Kit Wilson's about to do a leg drop off the top, and the fucking fireworks go off on his ass. And he sacks himself, and he loses. Hilarious. And again, you have one of the people on commentary going, oh, the lights went out, Cole, or Tessator, the lights went out, and the pyro went off and shit. And then you have Tessator being like, oh, it's all good. And he was calling Kit Kip purposefully, being like, oh, it's Kip Wilson and shit. So they were awesome. Honestly, they were so good. And that's who Danhausen can get a win over. That works. And Miz with Kit Wilson rules. And it's all funny. It's over the top. It's goofy. It's funny. I thought the Jade Io stuff was good. Jade's looking better. Of course, Io went out there, did her thing. If they're teasing Triple H and HBK getting involved in the whole like TKO versus WWE versus who is Aldis answering to versus who are these big guys on the phone sending boxes and all of this shit, I don't think we got an answer. Like, there's somebody Pierce was on the phone with and shit. I don't think we got an answer. We got an answer to who Orton was on the phone with. But what if Triple H and them lead a brigade against the TKO guys? And it's like the power struggle, the authority versus the authority type shit. That could work too. But either way, I just think that it's kind of fucking whack that basically, like, the Jelly Roll shit was awful. Now, McAfee, is he ripping it on the mic? Yes. But Jelly Roll's involved, like, with all the fucking history between Orton and Triple H and fucking Cody Rhodes and fucking you and Dusty Rhodes and shit. You can't tell me that this is the best they can do. Like, Jelly Rolls, like, oh man, this isn't cool. Then he gets punched out of the ring. Like, this is hot caca garbage. I don't care what anyone says. This is straight ass water. Okay. And so one thing that intrigues me is the Triple H HBK in the background on the truck while they're talking about who is in charge of you. Like, who do you answer to? Who's calling the shots? Whatever. But another thing is, you can see here, Aleister Black's been in the background, and Rhodes and Black had some magic in AEW, right? And that they did some work there, and it was kind of over, and Black was really fucking cool when he beat Rhodes and whatnot, and maybe they recreate some of that. That Aleister Black, Tommy End, is a Triple H guy as well, and his time kind of got cut short. That's why he's been pushed well. But who knows? Like, what side is he going to be on? Does he go after? Does Rhodes defend his title against Orton, and then Black is out there, his next challenger? Or does Black help Orton win the fucking title? Some people like Alfred Konuwa here posted the Ministry of Darkness type shit. Like he's the Undertaker in that group type thing. Could be something like that. But yeah, you notice Black's been there for every one of Jelly Roll, Orton, McAfee, Rhodes stuff. Segments, right? He's been there for every one of them. Just lurking and looming. So they have big plans for this dude. And we'll see how it plays out. That's intriguing me for sure. I think it'll play out at Mania. And McAfee ripped it up on the mic again. He is doing really well in the department of like cutting promos. And I mean, he like his response to CM Punk is really good. We're going to listen to this snippet here. But a lot of the boys are being vocal. And I think this could be, they could be working a fucking shoot here. Or maybe Damian Priest is almost 50 and he just doesn't give a fuck. And he's like, I'm just going to retire soon, so I don't give a fuck. I'll just say what I think. Or maybe are they starting to build like a civil war of like the boys versus TKO? Who represents TKO? Who represents the boys? And Triple H is sort of pandering to the, he was on What Do You Want to Talk About with Cody Rhodes? And he's like, nah, I'm with Cody Rhodes' team type shit. Like, you were always my guy. I didn't take offense to smashing the throne, blah, blah, blah. And like the whole Nick Aldis, who do you answer to? Whatever. And then maybe Triple H and them show up as like, we're the authority against the authority. And because they did it with The Rock and Triple H already, where they sort of teased and alluded to and played into like, okay, there's a power struggle here of like the people creatively with boots on the ground and then the corporate, whatever the fuck. So is Priest saying this? Like he flat out's like, yeah, a lot of us aren't happy. Could we get a WWE Civil War? I think it would be choice coming out of this Mania. The whole year, build a Civil War and make it like an us versus them within WWE. And why? Well, because it's TNA versus AEW. Fuck around, start making me go, oh shit. It's like an invasion, but not an invasion. There's just like another power. Everyone's like, oh, the authority shit, that worked at wrestling before, so good. Yes, it did, man. Vince and the corporate ministry and all that shit. Vince versus Austin. It's just a fucking power struggle. In AEW, it didn't work so good. The authority wasn't the best thing ever, but that was like one of the worst eras of WWE, period, overall. So let's listen to Damian Priest, because he just shoots straight here with Gabby Lespiza from Gabby AF.
We just saw the Pat McAfee kind of thing unfold or whatever. I would love to get your thoughts on that, if it's something.
It sucks. Not a fan. Somebody who knows Pat, get along with him, but for me, that's not my taste. I don't think it helps anything. He didn't need it. So if Priest is shooting, like, here's the thing. That's why I lay out both sides of the argument here. He could just be shooting straight. He's 40, say, don't give a fuck. But maybe there's something more there, or maybe they can course correct. Maybe they can retcon the story. Maybe I'm fucking coping, trying to salvage this a little bit. I just think the Jelly Roll and the McAfee shit, it hasn't helped anything. I don't think it's going to sell more tickets. He goes out there and does a Dodge Ram truck ad. So Priest is shooting from the hip, and he represents a lot of the fans, Now, does it mean WWE's washed and shit? Absolutely not. Is this Mania going to rule? I think it's going to be a sleeper Mania. I think they got some cards up their sleeve, hopefully. And hopefully it's not just Jelly Roll and shit. But Priest is right. Like, we don't need it. We don't need this. There's way more shit you could draw from between Orton and the Rhodes family and Triple H being involved in shit, if he were. Me and, I'm sure a lot of people aren't going to be happy that I said that, but in the locker room specifically, like, a lot of us weren't happy. And that's real. Like, I was asked by some of the younger talent, like, what did I think? And I thought it was bull. We're a PG show, right? But he could come in and he could throw F-bombs and say whatever he wants. For me, that's like one of those things that so many other talent, even from one word, could benefit. And it's like, wow, now they're up here. Instead, you take somebody who's not even here all the time.
And that's real shit, man. That's real shit.
Gets away with saying something like that, who doesn't even need it. Not gonna lie, it kind of pissed me off.
And Punk said the same thing in his promo. He was like, dude,
You come here like you think you can fucking, say swears and shit. You're whatever. It was essentially the same vibe of like, dude, there's people like working here every week you're taking a spot from. And furthermore, McAfee was featured on the graphic above Randy Orton for the segment on SmackDown. He was on the forefront of the graphic, right? And so McAfee responded to CM Punk after doing a Dodge Ram 25% off WrestleMania tickets ad or whatever. He cut this promo. Let's take a listen. Excited for like Punk versus McAfee, which isn't even a match. And now they're talking about, it's going to be Jelly Roll and whoever versus Jelly Roll and Rhodes versus McAfee and Orton at Backlash. Like, I'm sorry. Nobody gives a fuck. Now, I'm happy that Jelly Roll takes... I'm not even saying don't use Jelly Roll. Just you could use them in something better. Puts no heat on this match, having them attack these other celebrities. Now, it is old school. It's very, like, old school. Cyndi Lauper's in this corner. Hogan's got Mr. T. Like, I get what they're doing. It's not like this is outside of the norm for WWE, but I just think, like... that it's just... the story needs to be better here. It just really does for people to like, let's face it, Orton versus Rhodes. I'm probably more hyped for the ladder match, and I'm not even joking. I'm more hyped to see Penta in a fucking ladder match at Mania than I really give a fuck about this Orton. Like to see McAfee get in, because we know what's going to happen. Ref goes down, McAfee gets involved, Jelly Roll comes out, someone else we don't expect comes out. Triple H comes out, hits a pedigree on fucking Rhodes. That would make me pop. Triple H comes out. He's like, get out of here, McAfee and shit. And then he pedigrees Rhodes. Puts the title on Randy. Ooh, now we're cooking. But like now we're more hyped for Punk versus McAfee, a match we're not even getting. This is McAfee's right with what he's about to say, but now Punk and McAfee are both just like burying WWE to get themselves over, which like that's Punk's job. Like Punk, I don't give as much blame to, but he did go out there and pretty much say like, I'm not worth the fucking price of what they're charging, which is just ass backwards, but he's just spitting. He's doing his thing, right? He doesn't give a fuck. That fits his demeanor, his character and all that. McAfee though, he's just like also burying WWE and TKO in a way. Do you know what I'm saying? Like everybody's just getting big. I don't know if any of that helps get anybody over. Like he's spitting, they're taking real barbs. It's like, okay, hopefully we get a match out of that. But do I even want to see McAfee wrestle Punk? Not really. But it's not like McAfee isn't capable of having a good match and shit. He's done it in NXT. I mean, if they want to go on Raw and talk shit after Mania or whatever, but I just have no interest in like Jelly Roll and Rhodes versus McAfee and Orton going past this Mania. Like I just want this to end. That's the problem. I should want Rhodes and Orton to be a drawn out. Hell, they could main event next year with the roles reversed if they book it right. But instead, I'm like, I just can't wait till this ends. Meanwhile, Punk Roman, I'm all about it. The ladder match, I'm all about it. The women's tag division thing is doing well. It's all right. It's just a 4-way. It'll be fun, hopefully. What else? Brock Oba, I'm just so hyped for. Whatever the fuck Danhausen does, whatever Cena does, I'm hyped for both of those things. We have the official cards for both nights. The Vision. Yeah, I'm honestly curious, like the Vision with iShow Speed. There is a level of intrigue of like, how well does iShow Speed do? What do they do with that segment or that match or whatever? Like, I mean, it might just be a 6-man and then iShow Speed steals the Vision a win somehow or something. I could see that happening. I don't know. But it's just too celebritied up. Like, I don't give a fuck. And if TKO, this is like when Punk went. It's funny too, because Punk gets offended by this, but it's like when he went to the UFC. Like he was on pay-per-view, an 0-0 fighter, and he got an opportunity because he's a fucking pro wrestler. He's an actor, right? Essentially. And he got an opportunity and took it from a bunch of fighters. And he got his receipts twice in the octagon. But it's the same thing Punk did. It's like when he goes to the UFC, like, okay, let's have fucking Justin Bieber fight Brad Pitt then, you know? Now, I know Punk was like, yeah, I do jujitsu, bro, and I fucking have a background in Kenpo karate. But it's like you're taking a spot, and that's sort of how it feels. If you're going to do like this McAfee jelly roll bullshit, okay, do it, but then we don't need iShow Speed. Spare us iShow Speed, right? Or if you're going to do iShow Speed and McAfee, okay, spare us the jelly roll getting involved in the story. Like, it just doesn't fucking work. Now, imagine if during the What Do You Want to Talk About pod, Triple H and Rhodes are on there talking, and all of a sudden McAfee and Orton crash it, and there's like a stare down, and Triple H kind of gets in between everyone, and they're like, look at you punk bitches doing your little monkey in the cymbals fucking podcast, clapping it up for TKO and Fanatics and blah 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 da 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 da. You know? Like, my pod will draw in however much more viewership, whatever. They start talking shit. I don't know. It'd be cool. My hopes of Triple H getting involved in shit, I think, is just, I'm really trying to will it into existence or something, because I just don't know how to make this more interesting. And like last minute, the last two shows, they're not going to, like, what's going to happen on the Go Home SmackDown? We're going to get some segment where like McAfee and Orton attack fucking Rhodes backstage, talk shit, and then dip out, like, or Jelly Roll's there, they make Jelly Roll bleed, and we're all supposed to care. Or it's going to be like they announce, in my corner, Jelly Roll, and we're all just like, okay, you know, it just, I don't fucking know, dude. I'm cringing through most of it. And that was my SmackDown review, and that was my WWE segment, I guess. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, TKO, you know, the rumors are TKO have been fucking up UFC, or that's what a lot, not the rumors, but that's what a lot of people say. And then people say the same thing about WWE. And according to these court filings and shit, apparently Vince was heavily involved with everything up until Mania 40. And not only that, if you really think about it, Mania 40, like, that's where the bloodline shit sort of ended, right? With the Romans, that's when Roman's reign finally ended. And that was Vince that put that in motion years prior. So if you want to argue anything, maybe you could say Triple H and his creative has been horseshit, or with Vince out of the way, and that's why TKO wanted Vince out of the way. It's just that they knew what they were going to do. They just wanted to do it they wanted to corporate it up in a way they can't do with Vince being at the helm. And perhaps Triple H is down with that. And it's not his shit creative, is just also him working for the man. You know, it could be that as well. I'm not willing to discount that entirely, but yeah, like, you could argue, since Vince was fully out of the picture, yes, it's been down, like, the creative has been going down. Now, we'll see. Again, I still chalk it up to not every Mania, like, Triple H is responsible for a bunch of takeovers and builds to matches in NXT where people were like, why the fuck don't they do this on the main roster? Don't forget that. He is responsible for a bunch of the best shit in pro wrestling for a little while. Was like that black and gold era, even some of the NXT UK shit when they first ushered that in. It was awesome. Doing the Cruiserweight Classic stuff down in the PC, the way he was booking indie guys to sort of come in and out of the territory, and TNA guys, like Triple H really was kicking down those doors and stuff, bringing Shinsuke in versus Sammy. Even if you go as far back as Paige versus Emma, if you go as far back as Bo Nickel versus Neville and shit. Like, he was booking really good stuff, man. So I don't fully go, he's trash, he can't book and shit. I do put it more on TKO than anything else. Why? Well, because UFC, they're being accused of the same shit. Dana's out of the way, and he's just essentially a puppet for them. If the rumors are true and they want to position Triple H the same way, then he's just a puppet, which is totally fine. I mean, and you're going to do what the fuck you need to do to make your money and get your business, make your business partners happy and all of that shit. Has WWE been the complete shitters? No, like, I'm pumped for Dom Finn. I think Judgment Day has always been good. I think like Liv and Vaquer have good heat on their match going into it, and it hasn't been like Danhausen's great. He fucking pops the shit out of me. I feel like Drew and them were doing good stuff, but then Drew he's just fighting Fatu, and it's just a proxy war where they hate each other and they're gonna brawl. So that's okay, I guess. But yeah, overall, I mean, maybe you could make the argument that Vince went left, and we need to bring him back, pal. No, I'm just joking. I don't want that. But yeah, that I guess was WWE news. So we have the main event on Rebellion, which we're checking out. And Mirzakhanov and Paulo Costa are throwing down. It hasn't been the most exciting fight, but yeah, like right now, Twitter's buzzing like UFC produced one of the greatest fights of all time. So just go on Twitter and look up some of the fucking highlights and you'll see what's up. Hokit, Hokit. Eddie Edwards and Santana throwing down. 613-805 for 2 says, thanks, Phil. Another great show. Thank you, dude.
Acknowledge me.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Round of applause to the PWT universe. Yeah, this week is going to be crazy, starting with Memba Monday. I don't know if we're going to stream Dynasty tomorrow. Probably not. We'll just Memba Monday. I'll like review it. And we'll watch Raw is what we're going to do. So make sure you tune into that. Memberships are 99 cents. You can gift memberships as well. That always rules. And or if you're on Patreon, patreon.com/ProWrestleTimes. And you can check out member shows over there too, and I'm dropping two what are they called? Botchamania watch-alongs on there this week, and the PWT podcast with Husey. Make sure you guys are ready for that. That will be dropping the WrestleMania preview show. I'll drop this week here too, probably on Tuesday for you guys. Right? I'll put it on Patreon for people on Monday, and then on and then I'll upload it to YouTube and maybe make it members only or what first for a day. And then on Tuesday, it'll release. So make sure you guys are locked in for that for the WrestleMania preview show with Husey. Because that fucking rules. Okay. So we do have some miscellaneous news, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into miscellaneous news. So, ladies and germs, I'm afraid we got some bad news.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Or some good news, depending who you ask. CMLL moves to Fox Sports 2 beginning Friday, April 24th. So I don't know what has more viewers, the Fox that AAA's on or Fox Sports 2. Someone can answer me that, but yeah, CMLL and AAA, Fox is in business with both, I believe. So speaking of CMLL Informa, these are the MLW Gladiators who will arrive in Arena, Mexico to face off against CMLL stars. So it's MLW versus CMLL. And yeah, let's take a look.
Shotzi, gran luchadora internacional. Trevor Lee presentándose.
Trevor Lee, and it's official. He is signed to MLW, so that's a great pickup by them.
Y Kuro Kwon reapareciendo en la México Catedral. Ese gigante llamado Donovan Dayak, nuevamente aquí en la Arena
Donovan
México.
Dayak.
Bishop Dyer también presente en esta función especial. Diego Gil, un prospecto sensacional de MLW. Ese gran veterano, ese gran luchador oriental. Kushida. Y el retorno a la México Catedral, ahora con etiqueta de MLW de Lady First. Señoras y señores, la cita es viernes 1 de mayo, Consejo Mundial de Lucha Libre en contra de MLW, 5 de la tarde, México Catedral.
Yeah, dude, MLW is getting a solid roster assembled there. Just being real about it. We have a new JCW World Champion, Cocaine. So Cocaine is the new JCW fucking champion, which is just madness. We move along here, and so we're talking about UFC, which produced one of the greatest fights of all time. Okay, and here is President Donald Trump, WWE Hall of Famer, making his entrance at the UFC on Paramount here, 327, Hokit and Blades, one of the greatest heavyweight fights of all time.
With us.
Huge pops for the guy. Again, that whole entourage, guess who Tony Khan pissed off and who's going to own Warner Brothers in the next all of these guys, right? So I just bring that up, though, to play you the promo trailer for the UFC White House, and this is a big TKO event, so it is pro wrestling adjacent, and this is the most gimmick shit of all time, if you ask me. More than this.
Run away from anything.
So you have a Spaniard, right, fighting Justin Gaethje, an American, at the White House, and the problem with this fight, in my opinion, it'll be an amazing fight. But the problem is that Tapuria, everybody loves him and wants to see him go on this like undefeated run, and he is truly just a spectacular fighter. But Gaethje is the American, so they're going to be behind him. No, it just seems weird. And Dana White broke down that TKO get like 600 tickets to give away. Dana White gets 300 personally, and then Donald Trump gets 1,300 tickets to give away or some shit. So it's like, what kind of crowd is even going to be? I just don't get why this is just a waste of money. This is where TKO's money's going, guys. Okay? To pull off this event. Are you guys down with it? I just don't. Isn't there like wars going on and shit right now? Like, I don't know. The highest performance bonus. It's kind of goofy to me. I'm not going to lie. As a fight fan. And then you have a Frenchman fighting a Brazilian for the heavyweight title.
This is
And it's just like, okay, I guess, you know, I don't know what to make of it. Speaking, not knowing what to make of things, John Alba, he puts out this fucking Cope tweet. Or it may not even be Cope, but he just exposes himself. And I would normally put this in the sicko segment, but it's to all wrestling fans, so it goes into miscellaneous news because it pertains to independent wrestling. Now, again, I'm not trying to compare myself or hate on anybody or anything, but Alba's like, you fucking podcasters couldn't do what we do. And it's like, yes, we could. We do more shit than you. I know he takes out his anger on JD from NY and whatnot. Oh, but like, Alba, you're a fucking hack, buddy, and I'm going to prove it right here. People come in this chat and they thank me. Thank you, Phil, for covering indie wrestling. It you know, and I get thanked. You cover indie wrestling and shit. That means a lot to us. We don't, you know, I plug all these fucking shows, talk about the wrestlers. How many fucking wrestlers have I talked about that end up getting ID'd like fucking they're on Evolve? Remember I talked about that Uwu girl? Remember I was like, she's like an anime Uwu girl, and you guys made fun of me for saying Uwu? Right? And now she's on WWE Evolve. Right? Bear fucking Bronson, TNA fucking tag team champion right now. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So, Starboy Charlie, they changed his goddamn name, but I was hyped. They ID'd him. I'm like, this fucking guy rules. Before they ID'd him, I was playing his little his little clips that he was dropping, his little highlight reels he was dropping on his fucking X. So, and it don't take a genius to see, right? But Alba, listen to this. He goes, wrestling fans, there are so many podcasts, streams, shows, etc. out there that cover so much ground. Where do you feel the space is being underserved from a content perspective? What would you watch that either doesn't exist or isn't currently being done well? Implying what? You think you're going to do anything better than anyone? You fucking stink. So this person here, and this was the top liked comment as well under his thing, right? He got 56 likes, 46 replies. This was the top liked one with 28 likes. Baka Bella goes, independent wrestling history, covering events from the late 90s, early 2000s, and talking about the talents from each region. Maybe what they went on to do or didn't do, right? What does Alba say? It's a good idea and something I've thought about, I'm so sure. But I'm not sure there's a big enough audience for it right now, unfortunately, for it to be something reoccurring versus a one-off. Grifter can fucking firm.
You gotta be a hoe.
Oh, you're a grifter who only does it for the clip. Oh, shit. I will rule you. Good. Fucking exposed and owned on PWT. Right? And I write this. Alba flat out saying he'll only do it for the clicks. Meanwhile, he'll demonize JD from NY for garnering the largest audience in this space and call dude a grifter because he disagrees with JD's opinion. I open virtually every show talking about the indies and shining light on that shit. If you actually care about what you're talking about and are entertaining, people will listen, Alba. It shouldn't be, oh, I'm just leaning into fucking, oh man, politics are cool right now, so I'm just going to do that even though I don't know shit. Oh man, Pokemon are cool, so let me just talk about. It's like these podcasts that are like fucking, you know, this show's about movies, TV, food, drinks, sports, fucking blah, blah, blah. So it's just nothing. What direction? What show is this? What are we talking about here? You know what I'm saying? Like the furthest I go is like combat sports. I give you a bit of that. And that's only because, and you guys will notice that only started because of the whole TKO. Like we have to keep eyes on it. There's trends there. There's things that happen over in UFC land in Saudi Arabia, boxing land and shit that may affect WWE down the line or may affect the landscape of this or that, or how TKO might sway one way or what type of business they're doing over here, which might explain why they make a choice over in WWE. So that's like the furthest I veer off. This is a pro wrestling show. We keep it pro wrestling. You know what I'm saying? But it's like it's just crazy. Alba's like, gotta just go with, there's not enough viewers to talk about. So how about, why don't you try this, Alba? Why don't you try talking about something you actually give a fuck about? And stop just going, oh, I got an interview with Tone and now me and Tone are cool. And he co-opted Sports Illustrated so I can get a click whenever I talk about him. And you know that's what's up, because why? Coach and Bros pod that they did with Tone blew John Alba's bullshit-ass interview out of the fucking water. Views-wise, trending-wise, no one gives a fuck. Alba can call Tone up. No one cares. So now he's like, oh, what is no one doing that you think I could do better? Why don't you figure that out? Because whatever it is, it'll be fucking something you actually are passionate and care about. And this is why you couldn't ever do what JD does or what a Phil Marks does. You couldn't ever do it. And I could easily interview wrestlers, bro. I've done it. I don't even find it that fun. I got to be honest. I like trolling. I like making jokes with the wrestlers that come on. That's why when they have come on the last few times, I play games with them and shit. Because what the fuck am I going to ask them about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what am I going to do? So who was your favorite wrestlers growing up and shit? Like, fuck out of here. You know? Oh, so you work in AEW. Why is AEW so great? Like, no one gives a shit, man. So, yeah, that is my roast of Alba. Okay? He's just admitting he'll call JD a grifter. But he's just full on flat out admitting I ain't doing shit unless it's a one-off because it won't get enough clicks and views, even though it's something I've thought about doing. Fucking do it, right? I'm not saying I'm better than any motherfuckers, but I will upload a video knowing that shit's going to get 200 views. knowing it. Okay. And I hope one day there's a day where indie wrestling, all of wrestling's so popular again that indie wrestling is getting fucking 1,000 to 5,000 views on a fucking video when you talk about it. That's my hope because I'm actually passionate about it. You dig what I'm saying? Speaking about passionate fans, I want to play this. This is from WrestleCon, and Mick Foley and some other people came out to put over this wrestling fan who passed away that everybody remembers very fondly. One of the wrestling fans. It's not a straw hat guy. It's not green shirt guy. But it's this guy.
WrestleCon once again makes history as they present the annual Mark Hitchcock Memorial Super Show.
Hey, this is an amazing week, and I know how much WrestleCon wants to make this special. Every year, they've been honoring a real great guy who was a super fan, Mark Hitchcock.
His name is Mark Hitchcock. Last year, we lost one of our great friends, colleagues, and High Spots employees, Mark Hitchcock.
So Mark Hitchcock last year. This year, they're doing the a memorial for him.
A lot like you.
And this is Mick Foley. Like they were talking about maybe doing a match in AEW with MJF. You fucking sickos. Look at this man. He can barely move.
Like you,
Waddles around like the penguin.
Who loves professional wrestling, travels around the country to see it. In your case, the world. And by him being a lot like you, that means he was also a lot like me because I began as a super fan as well. And we would like you to watch the screen and take a look at this video that's been put together for Mark.
Back in Generico, Okada, Mr. Okada, Steen, Penta, Zack Sabre. So yeah, he's met all the wrestlers. Tanahashi-san. Who do we see? Some Marks, Jushin Thunder. What's that guy's name again? I forget, but he's awesome. He has a great look. Octagon. Oh, Kenny Omega. Ric Flair. Woo. That's Sasuke, Jushin again. Excalibur, PWG. Chris Hero. Lance Storm, buddy. That's my buddy guy. Oh, Mean Gene. Rey Mysterio. So this guy here obviously died too young, man. Terry Funk. Mark Hitchcock. So RIP and shout out WrestleCon for doing a little memorial there for him. Now this UFC's been unreal. Paulo Costa with another fucking finish and just a phenomenal show. And I believe the main event or co-main is coming up next. We just saw Mike Santana defend his title, and I think Alicia Edwards and Moose rejoined the system. Chat, can you? Is that what happened? Yeah, I'm not sure. So who is her allegiance with? Santana and Moose next. That'll be a good match for him. Okay, so lastly, the stabbing in GCW with Krule. It was a hoax, and the wrestlers made it up. And again, when I was covering this, I was like, well, in fairness, we don't see a knife. Maybe they got the knife away. Maybe they did make it up. There's no video of the actual encounter and like this guy being a dickhead. Why did nobody film? Like, hey, in fairness, and there was a source, and I made fun of the anonymous source who was like, hey, listen, the guy was an asshole, but like, I think they made up the whole fucking knife thing to not just to beat this guy's ass. Well, it turns out that was true. And Krule and these wrestlers lock him up. No, I'm just joking. But here's the video. And here's Krule started this fight. He just buried himself. Like, as a fan of his, I The guy is like 6'10". He doesn't know how to throw a punch. Right? And he fucking swings on this guy first. When he started making Krule, let's say this guy was being an asshole and started making him uncomfortable, Krule should have just fucking... And again, my suspicion, I was like, dude, he wrestles deathmatch style, so did he have a cut on his tummy? And fucking he's just playing it off as a knife wound? I don't know. I don't want to accuse him of that, but I even threw that out there. And the thing with Krule is like, he doesn't know how to throw a punch. He's 6'10". He starts the fight like a dumbass, and this Mark like hurls him over. If this guy was being an asshole, Krule should have been like, hey, get him the fuck out of here to someone running the event. But instead, and I guess people are mad at Ricky Shane Page, RSP. They're all calling him a piece of shit because I guess he sort of facilitated this, or he was responsible for the show, or he was the one throwing the big shots. I don't know. Let's watch this, though. Krule is right here. The dude's standing here, and Krule just gets pwned. Like, he's going to have to change his gimmick again. So even it, like, look, this guy's pointing in people's faces, being a tough guy. Like, you're good. You're fucking... if you don't stop fucking with me, man, like that's clearly what's going on. Even if this guy, guys, I'm going to teach you a lesson right now. And I don't know if your father's taught you this or what, but being a fucking man means being able to just walk away from it. Like, okay, this fucking fat dude with a mullet who fucking wants to be a wrestler, like get the fuck out of here. What are you, accosting the people who work here and shit? Tell this pussy to fuck off. Who cares? But you can tell he's pointing in faces and telling wrestlers, like even the way he's talking to Krule here, it looks like he's being like, yeah, that's right. Like, this is who this guy is. He's one of these guys that starts some shit, people get in between and push them all apart. And then he goes, yeah, that's right. Walk away, pussy. Or you're like the bigger guy and you're like, I'm just walking away from this. Yeah, that's right, pussy. Fucking walk away. Like just one of those mouthy fucks. Clearly, he's one of those guys. Yes, and he deserves to get punched in the fucking mouth. But if you don't know how to throw a fucking punch, Krule, or you're like a 6'10" dude with this kind of deathmatch Kane vibe gimmick, and you don't want to potentially fucking lose all of your aura and go to negative aura farm like he's about to do, then just walk away, dude. Like, who cares? No one thinks. I just want everyone to know that, right? Like, when there's some goofy-ass loudmouth in a bar, and let's say you go, you know what, I'm fucking leaving this place because this is going to be bad, you know? I don't want to end up in jail. I don't want to fucking, you know, I don't want to get a tooth punched out. I don't want to beat this guy to death. You fucking just walk away. No one thinks you're a bitch, okay? Everybody goes, look at this mouthy-ass motherfucker. It just makes other people want to leave, too. They should have just bounced him out. They should have all just grabbed an arm and a leg, chazzed him out, Uncle Phil style. Let's go. Let's walk. This is real. This is really real. So see, he points in dude's face and dude's kind of shoving him. You guys will see. Look, this is where it pops off. Krule starts. So like, do you guys see those shots from Krule? Like, buddy, it was a full-blown sucker punch. You're 6'10" in that muscly. You should be able to just starch that guy. I'm sorry. With a sucker punch. So Krule just suckies him. And then he gets taken down. And he got sat down on a chair. One more time. He got sumoed onto a chair. So this means Krule, all 6'10", doesn't even have like a good base of like, buddy, put your weight down and don't let him shove you anymore. You don't know how to plum clinch a motherfucker? Like, and again, I'm not even hating on Krule, but like, I can't believe this little dude just like took you down on a chair. If there wasn't a chair, Krule would be on the ground getting his ass beat. And then like, look at Ricky Shane Page just jumps on him. All these wrestlers jump him. And then all the wrestlers lied about there being a fucking knife. Okay?
Liar!
And now they all look like fucking morons.
Tell us what you know, you goddamn liar!
And they just pulled the bitch's shit. Oh, you had a knife though, so no, you guys gang jumped and beat his ass because he sunned Krule. That's fucked. Now I know he broke kayfabe and you're all fucking embarrassed and everything, but then that's why Krule doesn't throw the first punches. You guys are the boys, right? Everyone just grab a limb and toss him out before it even gets to that point. And Krule, buddy, when someone charges you like that and you're that close to them, and literally you have like a hold of their hoodie, do an over under hook. So hook one of your arms over. It depends what handed you look like. Krule looks like a southpaw, so you're gonna go like right arm over buddy's left arm, and then you're gonna go left arm under, or maybe you want to do double underhooks. But like plant your weight, man. You just let this guy throw you all the way back. Like get an over under and just trip him to the ground. You weigh how much weight, just literally lay on him. Just go, oh, I'm laying on you now. I'm 300 pounds. Just lay down while holding his shoulders. You'll just pull him right to the ground, dude. So this guy's a piece of shit. Like, again, he's tough guy and hey, okay, and he's got beer in like one of those cozy things, right? He's got a fucking beer. And Krule's standing there like he's really mad at what this guy's saying, but it's clear this little guy here, this guy's short as fuck. He just walked up to Krule because Krule's 6'10" and he wants to start shit with him, right? Now, if Krule blasted him and just one shot KO'd him, I would fucking, people would still be triggered, but I would actually applaud that. I'd be like, good. He's talking shit and he got fucking starched for it. Or if he really had a knife, I'd be like, yeah, good on the boys beating his ass and tossing him out. But they just made that part up and then released some of the footage and then didn't release this part of it. And Krule was embarrassed and the wrestlers saw this guy take him down. And I don't blame, like, I get it. It's a bit of a gang beatdown, but the thing is, like, for the fans and some of the wrestlers, like, this guy hurls Krule across the room, dude. Like, he double legs him or whatever he did. He just pushes him across the room. He's not even going for a double leg. He just bullies Krule across the room. So there's probably a bunch of fans who were like, who didn't see the initial interaction and just saw this guy tackling Krule. So then they're going to jump in. So it shouldn't be like everyone who threw a punch should be in charge. It shouldn't be that. But like clearly Krule and whatever wrestler that guy was barking at didn't handle that correctly, obviously. And then you get negative aura getting. Now, here's the thing. If the guy bum rushed Krule and took him down, like happened to Seth, it's not negative aura, right? Because he just didn't see it coming. But Krule's standing here. Even how he throws the punch, like he's squared up his legs. He's not even in like a karate stance or anything. He throws a punch from 2 legs square, dude. That's not how you throw a punch, man. I'm sorry. Like, fuck. You got to do MMA lessons here at PWT. But like, what the fuck, dude? Like, get in a stance, get your base. That's the first thing you learn in any martial art is about your base, okay? And this guy's just there like the angry construction worker. He's trying to get himself over, go viral on social media, whatever the fuck. Krule threw the first punch, and then you guys lied about a knife. So that's just double wrong. If Krule threw the punch, KO'd him, all good. Throwing the fucking punch and then getting taken down, negative aura, and then fucking lying about a knife. Holy man. That's like the biggest fucking trombone flop. That's the biggest felt. You just felted yourself fucking harder than anything, dude. Crazy. Okay, so we move along, and this guy says, daily reminder of the damage Ricky Shane Page has done to the business. We lost a key venue with a video that is spreading to venues all over the country. One day, this guy hates deathmatch. Next day, he's running one. And yeah, Ricky Shane Page shit on deathmatch wrestling. People have called him out for flip-flopping. He flip-flops on this. He's had DM leak beefs with people. He's always in some shit. And I guess this was his show, and that venue is legit. Is legitimately sharing that shit around, hey? And they refuse to do wrestling anymore, which is unfortunate because a lot of indies ran out of that place, I guess. So this guy, Adam Lash, says, I've been involved in pro wrestling for 28 years this May. I can say without hesitation, Ricky Shane Page is one of the dumbest people I've ever encountered in professional wrestling. This guy says, it is wild that people used to really throw down on here defending RSP's intelligence and character. And then GCW owner Brett Lauderdale said that the fake stabbing ended, it killed 20 plus years of wrestling at a Chicago venue. That, yeah, for the last 20 years they've had wrestling. And because of this, the wrestlers attacking a fan, they're like, nope, no more, which is just brutal. It's just embarrassing. It's just terrible. And he's a fraud. He's a fucking liar. Lock them up. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was miscellaneous news.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
A round of applause to the PWT universe. We did it. We did about 3 hours, 45 minutes. TNA Rebellion went down. Santana defended the title. EC3's back. Catalina's in AAA. Collision was whatever the fuck. We got new 6-man or trios champs. This UFC 327's been amazing. The PWT universe, over 200 people watching tonight, have been fucking amazing. Round of applause again for you guys. Get fucking hype. It's the week of WrestleMania. Okay, it's the week of WrestleMania, starting with, Dynasty goes down tomorrow. I'll live tweet it probably. I will fucking review it on Member Monday. Become a member, only 99 cents. Become a patron, patreon.com/Pro Wrestle Times. I'm going to watch Raw with you guys, the Go Home show. And I might even, your boy Phil might even pop up for the Go Home SmackDown quick run-in stream or some shit. Might as well. And then, maybe. We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling Friday. And then Saturday, Sunday, we're fucking streaming. And then the Raw after Mania. It will be a series of spectacular events. Make sure you're here. I appreciate you all for being here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Phil S. Marks, and this is Chris Jericho.
Every booking is golden, you see. Perfect cards crafted for you and me. Yeah, the best guys, Tony Khan, it's true. Triple cup, best damn booker in the land. 3 red cups stacked up, always in command. Triple cup, living legend of the fight. Just a call away from making it right. Never see him back hard, no way. Got the whole roster locked in for the day. A Crimson Tower, modern art. Triple cup. Triple cup. Every booking is golden, you see. Perfect cards crafted for you and me. Yeah, the best guys, Tony Khan, it's true. Triple cup. Best damn booker in the land. 3 red cups stacked up, always in command. Triple cup. Living legend of the fight.